And we're live. Do-do-do. Penis. Damn it. Thunder, how's it going, man? How you doing? This soon? What do you mean? This soon what? Mezzo, how's it going, man? How you doing? Nice. Bushcar, thank you for that. Nagato, how's it going, man? You usually stream like 2 hours later? No? Not normally. Have I been? Do I? Am I losing my shit? What's happening? Oh well, either way we're live. Okay, you got another notification. This is early? What? We're moved later than this? Do I? There was a fire yesterday on the central internet server for Egypt. Jesus Christ. That reminds me of have you guys ever seen this? Is it early? Interesting. Have you guys ever seen this? In 2011, a 75-year-old woman from Georgia was caught digging for copper when she sliced through a major optic cable, cutting off internet for the entire country of Armenia. And then when they stopped her, they were like, hey, like the entire internet got cut off. And she goes, what is the internet? And I was like, okay, perfect bookend to that. Thank you. Okay. I barely have scale locker relations legend affair code mirror pin fling affair fling thing relations. Let's go. Pin candy major. Perfect video to play while doing laundry at about 11 p.m. Fair enough, Mezzo. Luvian, how's it going, man? How you doing? Pin, candy, major, key. Autumn, how's it going, man? How you doing? 35% of Egypt doesn't have internet at all, while the rest have slow as fuck internet. Jesus Christ. Pin can play Quordle? I don't know what that is, Pushkar. We can try that after. Lyola, how's it going? How you doing? Pin, candy, code, key, pin, legend? Fuck. Scale. Shit. No. Oh, cooked. Okay. Carpenter, major, key, minor, scale. That's crazy. That's what I was thinking. You said Quordle? Quordle. For... What? Okay. P-I... P-A-R... Too easy, can try Octurtle, fuck you. P-O-L-I... Damn, I was trying to spell Poland. That's a word? Okay. So... Oh, this bottom left one's gonna fuck me really hard, though. P-L-I... Plink. Okay, cool. Now I need something for the bottom one. I'm cooked. D-R-E-A-D. How do you fuck me this hard? P-L-I... 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 something D. What is this first word? Because I have the first two words now. P-L-I... if I can get it here. I mean, I still don't get the other two ones in two. Cooked. P-L-I... E-D-O. Very good. P-L... sorry, prank. I got one to get both of them. That's not even mathematically possible. Thank you, Liola. Thank you, username. Zaza, how's it going, man? F... Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it. Gawky oxide. Yeah, there's just no way I could. There's just no. I did lose. Okay, but for my first time, I feel like 2 out of 4 is pretty good. I don't know. Maybe it's pretty bad. I don't actually have a frame of reference, but I'm just saying. I felt like that was decent. Okay, we still have 5 minutes. Let's do Lexicon really quickly. Time Traveler, how's it going, man? How you doing? Is that Dr. Z? I think that's just Dr. Z, right? Is that Dr. Z? I think that's just Dr. Z. Yeah, okay. How's it going? It's obvious. Computer, largely. Computer, database. Database, data set. Set? Data? Data. Everyone is Dr. Z in their heart of hearts. Yeah, largely. Estimate? No, largely. Obtuse? Data? Data largely. Data largely. How would we get there? Dr. Z, I'm feeling what you felt when you changed your data. Data. Information. Okay, information. Guess. Estimate. Hypotho. How do you spell hypothesize? I don't know. I don't actually know. Hey, I'm not a fucking science major. Okay, so fuck? Really? Theory? Largely. What is even happening? I have so many words. Can someone give me anything for largely, bro? Grow? Growth? Population? No, even that doesn't work. Statistics. Statistics was pretty good, actually. It connects data and all these things. So theory, accurate. Accurate. Jesus Christ, kill me. So guess, largely accurate. Exponentially. Exponentially. Okay. Okay. You missed the first comment. What was it? Largely? Bro, even that doesn't work, bro. What is happening? Big. Bigger. How is this? Hey, Queen, how's it going? How you doing? You don't have to answer that. I get you're doing stuff. Don't worry about it. Bro, I don't think I've ever been this cooked. This is crazy. Largely theory. Largely theory. Mostly. Thank the fucking... No, wait, even that's not finished? I thought that was done. Fuck. Dude, Asif, that was so handy. Thank you, dude. Try majority? Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Goated. Holy shit. Asraf and Sachi coming in clutch. What the fuck? Thank you, guys. We would have been doing this for the next 8 hours. What the fuck? Thank you. Oh, that was terrifyingly bad. And username. Username was handy as well. Username. You know what? Thank you to everyone. Fucking, you were all handy. Fuck, that was good. That's a web, dude. This is insane. Computer, database, data, statistics, majority, largely. Wow, I needed 5 words out of this whole fucking bullshit. That's crazy. By the way, Sachi, I don't think I've seen you in lives very often. Thanks for being a member, man. How you doing? Oh, hey, Romero. How's it going, man? Alright, let's keep going. Alright, let's it's 11 o'clock now for me. It's reading time. By the way, if you guys have any other, like, backgrounds you think would be better or whatever, please let me know. I'm happy to change those. That's no issue, alright? For fuck's sakes, I'm gonna have to do this every time. Ugh. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh shit, Queen! Thank you! Thank you so much! Alright, now we're only one person away from having the bald emoji. Or hopefully the Giga Chat emoji, but... And knowing you, Fox, it's gonna be the fucking... it's gonna be the fucking bald emoji. Fuck you guys. God damn it. Alright, let's go. Alright, reading time. Yeah, there's different tiers of membership, Zaza, so it goes from like $1 to I think $5. Upon hearing the nope, alright, I gotta change the fucking title first. La-di-da-di-da. Bro, if I could somehow figure out how to automate this title change by itself, I would be goated, but I don't think that's possible. I'd have to write some crazy bullshit-ass code. Does gifting subs help? Sorry, what do you mean, Queen? Like, does gifting memberships help? Is that what you're referring to? Nope, that is not how you spell that. Okay, first of all, this is bad writing, okay? With the goal? Yeah, it's just, yeah. Yes, they do. Chat GPT coding. Oh, that's cute. This is just bad writing, okay? Because if the word ends in an S, you don't put an apostrophe S. You just put an apostrophe, okay? This is bad writing. I want to have a chat with Cuttlefish about this. Upon hearing the middle-aged man's shouts and seeing his warped expression... Oh, no, Queen, no. Thank you so much, we really didn't have to. Fuck! Oh, the bald emoji is coming faster than we thought. No! 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 Shit! Fuck! No! Oh! God damn it! No! Alright, take it back. No, I'm gonna just refund it. I don't want it. Oh, God. Alright. Who is even Died Light, by the way? I feel like it's one of Dr. Z's alts, is it not? Is Died Light one of Dr. Z's alts? Am I crazy? No, God damn it. Fuck. Oh, okay. That's not you? Okay. It's okay. I have seen Died Light in streams often. I thought that was one of Dr. Z's alts. Alright, you guys can vote amongst yourselves for that, and then we'll get the emoji added, okay? Fuck. Thank you, Queen. You really didn't have to. Thank you so much, but fuck. I'm more sad about this than anything else. I'm cooked. If it's a member, that's not me. Dr. Z, I think if you get gifted a membership, I think that's different, though, because it technically doesn't count as you buying it. So I think that would probably circumvent the sanctions if I had to guess. 100%? We've never had 100% consensus on anything. You guys don't even want to consider the fucking bald Giga Chad? You guys are so mean. Upon hearing the middle-aged man's shouts and seeing his warped expression, Hazel's eyes, which were filled with rage and hatred, gradually froze before melting into a confused and lost look. Just plain old bald. This is so mean. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Okay, you guys seem unanimous about this, so give me 2 seconds. I'll see if I can just add it. I don't know if it updates right away. If it does, I'll just add the emoji right now. For fuck's sakes. Christ. Oh, thank you. At least some people are going for the other ones. Thank you, guys. Oh my god. You know what? Whoever it is, I love you. Everyone else, fuck right off. God damn it, no. Ah, fuck. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh, okay, it lets me add it right away. God damn it. Bitch, no. Shit, I'm so mad. Fuck. Alright, for all the members, the bald emoji is now live, so if you guys just refresh, you should have it. Fuck you guys. Fuck. No, Zaza, we're gonna do a... We're gonna do a... ASIC cosplay at 10k, okay? So how can I do that if I'm bald? Have you watched Matt3UB's video about Volume 1 Badly Explained, one of the best Lord of the Mysteries videos ever? Oh, really? I have not done that. I have not watched it, Dr. Z. We can, if you guys are up for it, maybe we can watch it after... Fuck. Maybe we can watch it after stream. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this. Fuck. Hurts my soul. No, Ramirez here, I think. We're fine. Nah, going bald at 10k and then you can wear the wig better? Nah, fuck you guys. We can go bald at 100k. No, Queen, don't. No. I'm just fucking around. Don't worry about it. I'm just. It's all good. I appreciate. I seriously appreciate you doing that. You really didn't have to, but no, like, you didn't have to. I'm sorry. No, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I really don't mind. I'm just kidding around. It's a very short video. Let's just watch it now. Do you guys... Okay, video now or later? I don't know. Now? I agree with Dr. Z. Just watch it now? Okay, fun. Send me the OG bald image. What do you mean username? Like send you the image from the Discord? Just like, why do you want it? Romero left. Why do you want it, username? I'm so curious. Volume 1. Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in a little bit. Username too. It's fun. Okay. This one, right?
This is Jean.
He wants to adore your glorious bald. Okay, this one, right? Just to confirm. Alright, I'm gonna assume it's this one. What does it say? 1/8. What does that mean? Okay, let's check it out.
Charming Gray, a keyboard warrior from China who does a weird luck enhancement ritual before going to bed. These
visuals are really cool. Did he make all of these?
Marathi, a history nerd from another world who has just finished writing his smart fanfic in his ancient diary. He dies. Charming wakes up in Klein's body, and lo and behold, he's been transmigrated into a Victorian world.
Wake up in another world feeling fine as hell. Truer words, bro. Oh, from 8 volumes, I see.
Klein discovers about his masochistic tendencies and the fact that he has voices in his head that can help him access a foggy realm. So he does the
schizophrenia
and deceives people into believing that he's a god to start his own cult. After his cult's first secret meeting, he
Don Leonard O'Neill Daly? I don't know. Fry? Who would this be?
He's greeted by another bigger cult's police at his doorstep, who were apparently really big fans of his fanfic, and wanted to check up on his ancient diary for any new chapters. Klein feigns dementia, and somehow the cultists believe him, offering him a job instead. Klein happily takes the job because he obviously needs more money to buy bread, and becomes a double agent. On his first day at the job, he discovers that everyone at his new workplace was a substance.
Definitely not drugs.
addict. Klein is soon forced to take suspicious fluids and truly becomes one of them, a professional cultist substance addict. On his first mission as a cultist, he helps a child with his gay colleague and decides to deliver a toy to his house. Upon reaching the house, his new team is greeted with a
Why is Justin Bieber there? This is so good.
clown and Justin Bieber. All of them share a nice laugh and song, and Klein gets some free career counseling from the clown. Upon returning home, Klein has a long hard think about his career's future and finally decides that he also wants to become a circus clown. The next day, he is about to hand in his
Nice, yeah. He decides, you know what? I'm getting paid too well. You know, I was made for poverty. It's time to return. Reject humanity to return to clown.
resignation letter, but before he could do it though, he's informed that his tax evading mentor abused too much substance, and as a result, he tried to fuck his puppet, thinking it
Jesus.
was his wife and had to be put down, and so his previous salary was increased from the purchasing power of 600 pounds of bread to 1440 pounds of bread. With his new salary, Klein forgets all about the career counseling and instead goes for a session of sunbathing to treat himself. He gets a bit too close to the sun though, and is nearly burnt alive in the
Oh,
process.
EBS. Oh, I see. Okay.
After rehydrating, Klein decides to visit his old history teacher to seek inspiration for the new chapters of his fanfic diary. Instead, he was enlightened.
Damn, bro. Even in this, Isaac is aura farming. Look at him. Look at him. He's like, I'm hype maxing, bro. Look at you, you short fuck.
Substance addict, and that he abused substances so much that he got dementia. Also that there was a non-zero chance of him being a war criminal in the past. Both of them bond over their shared sense of dementia and become
There's a
friends.
non-zero chance of him being a war criminal. Yeah, you don't
His
say.
suspicious flirts wears off, Klein and his fellow official cultists gang up on a trans woman to politely invite her to their cult by putting up a gun to her head. Turns out she wasn't as big of a fan of being shot as they'd hoped and kills one of Klein's colleague in retaliation. Your sacrifice.
Damn, you can't even just go kill a single person without them being like, oh no, my life is precious, I don't want to die, and then hurting your teammates. God, you know, like what? This world is a prison, I tell you.
Says Klein's
Good
co-captain
point. This guy's great.
before taking out his fork and spoon. Turns out, aside from being a cultist substance addict, he was also suffering from cannibalistic urges, but more importantly, male pattern balding.
Well, yes, you know, the cannibalism we can get over, but sir, your hair is thinning. We can't hire you.
It is time for Klein's very own secret cult meeting. He puts his newly acquired charlatan skills on full display, and as a result manages to convince a 12-year-old child to join his cult. Remember Klein's demented history teacher? Well, as it turns out, he's suspiciously good at killing people. The cult commits its first crime, aside from unauthorized substance dealings, and with his help, cleanses Luffy's evil brother. Klein's next job as an
Luffy's evil brother? What's the joke there? What?
official cultist
The mind is the prisoner of the body is the prisoner of the world.
is to
True.
solve a rather elaborate puzzle. He manages to solve the puzzle and tracks down the location of the supposed prize, which just turns out to be a widowed pregnant woman. Klein and his cultist friends are understandably upset, but his
Let's jump her. Oh, Killonga is the pirate. I see. Okay. Okay. So canonically, Klein, Dunn, and Leonard see a pregnant woman. They're like, let's go beat her ass.
captain still shoots his shot and lays his heart bare in front of the pregnant woman. He gets rejected, and so Klein reasonably
You're not
crashes
my
out.
type, Baldy.
His heart bare in front of the pregnant woman. He gets rejected, and so Klein reasonably crashes out and shoots the pregnant woman.
Reasonably crushes out.
Klein then witnesses the wrath of a disgruntled employee, which was
Man, why is Eisen here? What is happening?
also the final straw for him to switch professions and finally become a circus clown. Klein's family is not too thrilled about his career choices, and so he runs
This is where you get zero
from
bitches.
home in defiance, turning to illegal immigration, and also marking the end of the first volume of Lord of the Mysteries.
This is why you get zero bitches. Oh, Eisen equals ints. Oh, very clever. Okay. Oh god, that's really good. Okay, so now that we're done watching that, how about we watch nope, not that one. Good lord. So how about we watch this one, The Entire History of Lord of the Mysteries Fully Explained. Let's just watch that right now and then I can stop reading. Is that fair? How about we just do that? Yes, no, maybe so. What are we thinking? No? I'm just saying, have we considered it? We get done. Don't even have to. Okay, fine. Fine. Listen, I floated a suggestion, okay? I'm not saying we have to take it. It's my job to suggest stuff. Y'all can decide what we're doing. What? Okay. Okay. Upon hearing the middle-aged man's shouts and seeing his warped expression, Hazel's eyes, which were filled with rage and hatred, froze, melding into a confusing and lost look. It wasn't only her. Macht and Rihanna, as well as Dwayne, fell silent. No one spoke for a while. Even Forbes, who had just concealed herself, lost the sense of excitement she originally had. After more than 10 seconds, Macht stopped looking at the assailant and turned his head to the bodyguards and said, "One of you stay here. Watch the scene and the suspect. Wait for the police." Having said that, he paused and said to his valet, "Get a few reporters to cover this matter. The less you know, the longer you live." Damn, I'm gonna live forever then. After preliminary dealing with this matter, After preliminarily dealing with this matter, the House of Commons member surveyed the area and discovered that several passerbys were attempting to gather over to check what was happening. He then looked at Dwayne and said, "My apologies for putting you in such danger. I never expected this matter to develop this way. We did consider the actual situation of similar factory workers and coal suppliers, and we had provided them with some assistance and interim measures." Who knew? Coming up with a bill is something, but the actual implementation is a different matter. When the atmospheric pollution becomes abnormally pressing and various parties exert stress, it's no surprise that a cookie-cutter solution is employed. Klein sighed as he laughed. "There's no need to take my feelings into consideration. I've been in much more dangerous situations in the past. Even now, when this guy's like, 'I'm really profusely sorry,' he's like, oh, what, this? Have I told you about the time I fought a jaguar with both hands tied behind my back? Bro, stop aura farming for 2 minutes. God, you bitch." On the surface, it appeared as though he was referring to his encounters with doing business in the southern continent. In fact, he had recalled Megos, who was pregnant with an evil devil spawn, and the terrifying meteor that crashed down from the sky. Cynthia, who wanted to bear a child for the Admiral, and the Rose School of Thought's angel and Numinous Episcopate's monster, who had collapsed the mountain outside Bayam. Compared to these, what had just happened here was a drizzle. He didn't even need to consider his own safety. Why is he so... Bro, stop aura... Even in his head, he's like, "This? Do you know that I once fought an evil god on equal standing? My strength truly knows no bounds." This fucking guy, bro. "Mr. Loki, how's it going? How you doing?" His focus was on whether this would result in a storm. Mock sighed and nodded. "I can tell you're very calm. I once doubted your experience, but now I'm convinced. Alright, Dwayne, let's return home separately and leave this to the police. If they need a statement, they'll take it at your residence." Klein nodded and said to Mock and his family, "Please, be safe. Backlund's social scene has just begun, and this happened. Cherish the peace we now have." Backlund's social season is marked with the return of the House of the Lords Member of Parliament. It seems to have begun last weekend, and this week 2 cases have happened consecutively: the harm dealt to the Baron Sindris and the assault on Member of Parliament Macht. As Klein thought, he didn't stay put. He brought Richardson, who was clearly a little shaken, and walked towards his carriage. Klein has in fact stopped the True Creator twice. True. But I feel like the one in Tingen was like much more in his face. Does that feel fair? Is that crazy? When he got into it and watched the scenery fly by, as he sighed, he was presently unable to determine if the assault hadn't involved Beyonder powers, as everything that happened could be done by ordinary people. As for the middle-aged man, he had sufficient reason to do so. this didn't need deliberate fabricating, as Klein believed that in Backland, at present, there were more than one former factory owner or employer who had lost their livelihood. The only thing that felt questionable was that Marx was the member of Target. Was the target. Huh. Coincidence? In Zong-Will is writing this? Bro, I want to know what's happening with In Zong-Will, because I feel like his state is getting worse. Because, you know, like the last time we saw him, he like woke up from like his drunken stupor or whatever, and his nails are all black because he dug up underneath the cathedral or whatever, with where the evil spirit was. Ints fell off. True. You know, the Ints from Volume 1, goated and woated. He would have been a Sequence 1 angel by now. But this fucking loser is still a Sequence 4. Hasn't even done a thing. Oh, and I need to digest the potion. It's only been 6 months. Get it together. Get it together. Klein leaned on the carriage as he slowly opened his eyes, seeing that it was already dark and cloudy with rain already pattering down. Skill issue, exactly. Once again, he realized how the maelstrom hidden beneath the seemingly calm backland surface was intensifying. Reining in his thoughts, Klein raised his left palm and tapped his pocket. In it was what he believed to be Frank Lee's reply and some unknown mushrooms. Klein yearned to return home and head above the grey fog, and use the newly received mushrooms to communicate with creeping hunger. Doing so, he could regain the use of the sealed artifact. That's what he's going to use the mushrooms for? He's going to use it to terrify the creeping hunger. He's like, listen to me, you fucking piece of shit. You're either going to fucking stop requesting all these souls and bodies, or I'm going to keep shoving these godforsaken mushrooms down your throat. He can just write with 008 today in Zong-Will woke up and noticed his potion is completely digested. See, Dr. Z, this is what I mean. This is the kind of out-of-the-box thinking that... It's Maelstrom. What do you mean? Username. You see, that's the kind of out-of-the-box thinking, Dr. Z, that would make you really good in Zong-Will. But Ince himself is like, no, like... Realistically, what he did with the meteor, that like, okay, the meteor was supposed to come down in 2 days. Oh, Maelstrom. Oh, I see. Okay, I see the point. Okay, fair enough. Like what he did with the meteor, saying like, oh, it's supposed to land in 3 days, but a piece broke off, and coincidentally... came 2 days early to where Klein was. He could do the same thing and be like, coincidentally, Ince noticed that his potion was being digested at twice the rate of normal, or some bullshit, right? And just have it be chilling. But no, he's too dumb to think of this. Instead, he has to go do like, oh, I'm gonna orchestrate this giant facade. God. With the storm already brewing, he believed that there was a need for him to quickly return to his optimal combat strength, and in this aspect, creeping hunger was needed. Unfortunately, he had 2 Beyonder bodyguards following him, so it was best that he didn't head above the grey fog for the time being. It has to be realistic, though. Some conditions need to be... Yeah, but Pushkar, if he can say that a meteor landed 2 days before it should have... then he can say a portion of his potion digested sooner than it should have. I feel like those two are equivalent. I feel like if one works, the other does too. Yeah, he should have just wrote that Klein got hit. It wasn't that deep in my... That's a good point too. Unfortunately, yes, I clearly don't need any protection. But I spent a few £100 to hire people to restrict my actions. How helpless am I? Samo, how's it going, man? How you doing? There's a reason it's called a reasonable development. Well, you know what? If I'm doing the developments, I can make it pretty realistic, okay? Night Watcher is so easy to digest. I know, Dr. Z. You can give people bad luck. So, like, I just be walking down the street. You need to watch the... Fair enough. I just be walking down the street, and this random kid, like... bumps into me or whatever, you give him some bad luck, he trips over his own shoelaces, falls down, and then you ha 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 ha, ha, and then you walk down the street, you're chilling. You just do that 400 times. Fully digested potion, you know what I mean? He took a sip as his facial muscles tensed before relaxing. By the way, 008 is also sentient, so you have to be careful. Yeah, I know, but that's only for, like, when you're not writing with it, it will write shit about you to try to get you killed. Wait, now that I think about it... Now that I think about it, 008 is kind of dumb as bricks. 008 could get killed in an instant. Couldn't 008 just somehow get like a sequence 9 spectator potion, which is of its own pathway, come to it through convergence, and then he just has Azek drink this sequence 9 spectator potion, he loses control because it's of a different pathway, and he just... and you're chilling, you know? What if that kid was a hidden angel and he kills you? You make a good point. Oh, fuck. Okay, I was gonna make a joke, then you start doing that to pregnant ladies, but that was too mean. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. Also, you said, did I say Isaac? Oh, I apologize. 5 hour... Oh, FQ, how was it, man? It doesn't... its priorities to be set free. If you just kill it, it'll be captured again. The quill isn't omnipotent? No, not quite, but it's close. He glanced at Richardson in an unnoticeable manner, and he saw that his valet was in a daze, as though he was lost in the horror of the assault, as cowardly as usual. Late at night, 39 Balkland Street, Member of Parliament Moth's house. Hazel sat before her dressing table, looking at the grey rat sitting on a powder box. After a long silence, she said, "Was my father wrong? The matter he pushed for is clearly a good thing. There is nothing that is beneficial to everyone. There will always be those who benefit and those who suffer." How is it close to omnipotent? Well, because it can make... Okay, well, partially that was a joke, because there's nothing as close to omnipotent, because you either are or you aren't. Grey rat is her teacher Rudy? It's true. There's no... it was partially a joke, because there's nothing as being close to omniscience or omnipotence, because it kind of doesn't work. Secondly, is that if we want to say that it's possible to be close to that thing, then I would say it is pretty close. It can make all sorts of coincidences happen. That's pretty close. Now, it needs to be reasonable, which is what sets it aside, but, you know. At such times, a relevant bill or plans require some thought, compensation, and aid. If your father had done so, the problem isn't his. Conversely, it also means he's cold and ruthless, the rat said. During dinner, I sensed that there was something very valuable hidden inside the cupboard in the pantry, but when I got an opportunity to open it, there was nothing. Perhaps that was Dwayne's bodyguard, the rat said. He was recently embroiled in a suicide case, and it said that it involved the Baron. Hiring a bodyguard to protect him is normal. Hazel nodded gently and accepted the explanation as she muttered, "I wonder what kind of supernatural powers those bodyguards have." What was she sensing that was so valuable? Could it have been Forza's bracelet, maybe? Omnipotence is about being able to do whatever you want. You might be thinking of omniscience if you're thinking about knowledge, but omnipotence is the ability to do everything. Or anything. I know, Mr. Loki. This is why Gehrman is still goated as fuck. By now, Gehrman would have been like, "Oh, In Zone Will's in town, we're going to kill him." Everyone's going to be like, "He's a demigod." He's like, "I'll figure it out." Oh, Limano's travel. Oh, I see. After saying that, she swept the rat with a puzzled look. How did you know that Dwayne was embroiled in a case? My present state is very suitable for me to eavesdrop the conversation of others. As it spoke, it looked in the direction of 160 Bauckland Street, the glint of its eye shimmering. This week's tarot gathering is my favorite. Ooh, sounds fun. What day of the week is it? Fuck, are we close to the tarot club? Based on the sleeping rotation, Force was asleep as she felt herself float to the ancient majestic palace. In it were all kinds of beyonder ingredients and mystical items. There were even 2 blurry tarot cards. However, she didn't take any of them away, as they were sealed by an invisible force field. Force looked around in an attempt to find the means to remove the seal. Finally, she found a complicated symbol drawn at the top of the dome. It was a symbol formed from fate and concealment. If I find an item engraved with this symbol, I'll be able to unseal some treasure. Force is planning on stealing from the tarot club? Damn, girly, we're gonna have to put you down at this rate. You better watch yourself before you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, fool. She then snapped awake. She discovered that she had curled into a ball on the carpet in the room. She had a thin blanket covering her. She and Gio didn't dare sleep in the reclining chair, afraid that Dwayne would often sit in it, would notice something different. Rubbing the edges of her brows, Force sat up and saw Gio having her back to the wall of the master bedroom. She was seriously listening for any stirrings. As Force walked to Gio, she said with a frown, "I feel that there's some secrets hidden here. I had a strange dreaming of an exaggerated treasure trove and a complicated symbol. As an astrologer, she instinctively believed that there was a problem with her dream." Noticing the look on Force's face, Gio suppressed her words of doubt and said, "Perhaps there really is some sort of secret. I once heard a proverb regarding the mysterious world. It goes, when a beyonder element is discovered somewhere, there must be a second one." What? Forces the door pathway or the seer pathway? Force's pathway is interchangeable with the Rat Demigod and Leonard Grandpa one, so that he could use Beyonders of... Oh, I see. Ignoring the butler, who we can't tell if he possesses Beyonder powers or not. It's basically talking about convergence. Oh, I see. Okay. Wait, Nagito, are you still here, by the way? Noticing the serious look on Force's face. Nope, already read that. Ignoring the butler, who we can't tell if he possesses Beyonder powers or not. That Miss Hazel is someone with a Beyonder element around her. Or should I say that this street likely has a second one? Force nodded gently before laughing. However, it has nothing to do with us. We will receive our remuneration tomorrow evening and terminate this mission. We will leave this place. And the most pitiful of all is Dwayne. He's innocent and ordinary. You dumb bitch. You keep thinking this. But he ends up being involved in troublesome matters. Having said that, Force looked at Gio and said, no, there are not. That's why I was asking if Nagito was here. Milosh was here not too long ago. I don't know if he's still here, though. Alright. Alright, we're gonna go with... Oh, Milosh is here? Okay, we're chilling. Never mind, we're fine. Thanks, buddy. Having said that, Force looked at Gio and joked, quickly wish him that the goddess would watch over him. I'm a believer of the god of steam and machinery. I won't be able to do so. Gio considered for 2 seconds before drawing a crimson moon on her chest and saying, "May the goddess bless Mr. Dwayne Dantas." He's looking for art? Oh, okay. Forrest snapped out of her reverie as she covered her mouth and yawned. I'll head out to patrol the building. It's your turn to sleep after another 15 minutes. Alright. Gio was clearly more awake than Forrest. Man, them talking about sleep is putting me to sleep. Jesus. Forrest immediately headed for the door and pressed on the wall with her outstretched hand, arriving at the corridor. Just as she was about to walk to the staircase when she sensed that there was a slight stir coming from the room of Dwayne's valet. What? I'm not sad at all, Milosh. You're my strongest soldier, brother. Forrest's eyes darted around as she cautiously headed over and opened a tiny door in the wall and peeped in. She then saw Richardson jumping a crazy dance that had a tinge of mystery. A spirit dance? Doesn't this valet believe in the Evernight? He secretly worships death? Forrest frowned as she watched Richardson finish his spirit dance, softly praying for death's protection to help him avoid all kinds of danger. After everything came to an end, Forrest hissed and shook her head. She silently said to herself, "What a pitiful man, Mr. Dantas." "Shido, how's it going, man? How you doing?" "I'm as strong as 30 soldiers, though." "For the enemy team, maybe." "862, kind warning." I think Gio and Forrest are gonna give Klein a warning, like, "Hey, you got some fucked up shit around me, around you, bro. Check yourself." Bro is officially a faceless. Oh shit! Nice, Shido. Faceless. Okay, you're up to sequence 6. Nice, nice, nice. Just the coward trio. I think I know basically all of them, Samo, with the exception of 5 pathways. I don't know which one. I don't know which ones those interchange with, but I know all the other ones. After returning to the room with the balcony, Forrest looked at Gio and whispered, "Guess what I saw? The male servant, Dwayne's valet, is actually a believer of death. He was doing a spirit dance." "When it comes to Mr. Dantas, that's the least of our concerns," Gio said. "Yeah, that valet named Richardson is of the southern continent heritage. Perhaps he was born there, so it's not exactly surprising he worships death. 30-ish more chapters before I finish Volume 2? Nice, Shido! You're gonna love Volume 3. Volume 3 has a lot more action, and I love Volume 3. I won't be surprised if to discover that all the living beings in this building except him, including the housekeepers, maids, gardeners, carriage drivers, earthworms, bugs, and rats, are related to mystery and beyonders. Without waiting for Forrest, if that were the case, Mr. Dwayne definitely wouldn't be a simple person. Having beyonders and supernatural creatures around him might mean that he's the spawn of an evil god or a grounded angel. By the way, what is this new thing? What is a grounded angel? Does that just means an angel, right? What the fuck is a grounded angel? Also, Adam name drop? Oh shit, nice, Shido. Okay. Wait. Adam name drop. Did you get, Fuck, I can't ask him. Fuck, I can't ask him because I don't know, because if he hasn't seen it yet, then I'll spoil it. Fuck. Never mind. Without waiting for Forrest to expand the scope of the conversation, Gio asked, "Didn't you say that you had a strange dream involving treasure? An angel who walks the world as a grounded angel?" Sequence 2, grounded angel. Sequence 1, archangel? Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, a pathway which has a god, so they can't advance to sequence 1, so they're grounded. Oh, okay. Thank you, Pushkar. Aren't you curious what it symbolizes? Forrest chuckled. Such a dream often implies trouble and danger. I'll consider it again if I have a chance of encountering that symbol. Although she said that her true thoughts were, there's quite a bit of a problem with that dream. Who knows if there's a ploy behind it. I'll consult the Hanged Man and the Hermit and Mr. World next week before deciding what to do. They are experienced beyonders. Perhaps they have had similar experiences. You've matured, Geo nodded, exerting the strength in her back and bouncing off the walls as she walked to the spot where Forrest was sleeping. Mature? Forrest scoffed. Without waiting for Geo to become enraged, she sighed. You're the one who's matured. I still remember this time last year. You did things on instinct, arbitrating with your fist. From time to time, you would commit mistakes without realizing it and become lost. You're much better now. The main reason I got lost was because of you being a burden on my side. That's so mean. What? That's a characteristic of an apprentice, Forrest chortled. It has nothing to do with me. Got it. Seeing Gio on the floor, she walked to the wall adjacent to the master bedroom and started being a bodyguard. As the night passed, the sky gradually lit up. Klein got up to have breakfast and received visits from 2 batches of policemen and a batch of reporters. They were here for further investigations regarding Quaron's suicide case, and the other was to obtain more details regarding the assault last night. Grounded angel is simply an angel that exists on the physical plane. It is believed that other angels live in the God's divine realm. Oh. Okay, well, you see what I mean? Bro, there's so much shit that even all of you who have read the books several times can't agree on shit. You're all like, no, well, you see, I don't actually know. Like, I think it's that, you think it's that. Like, it's crazy. As the night slowly passed, the sky lit up. Klein got up to have breakfast and received visits from 2 batches of policemen and a batch of reporters. Nightwalker, how's it going? Nope, already read this. With Walter's help, Dwayne met and quickly handled the matters. It is an infant sequence too. In the afternoon, Mock suddenly visited and urged Klein, join me at the club for a game of tennis. He was a member of a few clubs, but there was only one club that overlapped with Dwayne, East Balam's Military Veterans Mess. I think what happened, ask me, I may be could. Okay, Nightwalker, what is a grounded angel? I think it is clearly read Klein's differentiated from archangels. The grounded angel is more about this is to confirm the arms. This is to confirm the arms deal? Klein managed to read between the lines as he immediately got Richardson to get his top hat, coat, and cane. He rode in the carriage and headed for the building in the Hillston borough. They entered the club and used the same room as before. Klein met the long-faced Army Colonel, Calvin. I heard from Mock that you can have 20,000 pounds available? He chuckled. Although it might make me tight on funds, I can, Klein replied. There won't be any need for 20,000 pounds for now. The batch of firearms, explosives, and number of cannons reserved for you in a particular warehouse in the East Borough. There's not that much, enough to equip 3,000 or 4,000 people. Based on the price of decommissioning them, it'll cost 10,000 at the most. Of course, you'll have to give me 15,000. He didn't mince his words in any way, as was common in the lone military. What? Sequence 2 usually refers to Angel of Church. What? You can refer to sequence 1 as well, but Angel of Church is also great. Okay. Huh. In my translation, it just means angel active in the mortal world. Yeah. He didn't mince his words in any way, as was common in the lone military. No problem, Klein said. Excellent. Mock has a keen eye for people. A person who wants to do such business absolutely mustn't be stingy. That batch of firearms is worth at least £20,000 in West Balam. If you can find a suitable buyer and fully showcase your expertise, you could even sell them for £30,000 or even more. By the way, the transportation fees and escort fees will be borne by you. We can only send 2 or 3 people to assist them. As expected, there will be monitors. Klein listened in silence. He pondered, roughly when will it begin? That batch of firearms will take another 2 weeks before being placed in the corresponding warehouse. When that happens, after that, the period is up to you. You don't have to pay it in full at once. You can pay £8,000 to £10,000 and pay the rest when everything is settled. Calvin wore an expression as though things were highly negotiable. 2 weeks later. That'll be closer to the end of the month. I'll definitely have to wait until the party of the Snake of Fate's birth before leaving. I'm still waiting for his placenta blood. Klein's thoughts raced as he said, I'll need to carry out some preparatory work. I'll head to the southern continent in early July. No problem. 100% margin is crazy. It is crazy, Dr. Z, but you also have to remember the margin ranges from anywhere from about 33% to 100%. And that's not including Klein's costs. So the transportation cost, escort costs, those are going to be at least a couple £1,000s. So that cuts away very decently. If you can sell them for like 30,000 or more, and get all the transport and all that done for like 5,000 or less, then yeah, he's made like £10,000. That's really good. But I mean, if he sells it for 20,000 and it costs him like 3,000 or 4,000 for the transport costs, that's not great. He made like $1,000. Outside the East Balam military veterans mess, Gio and Fours hid themselves. Sorry, give me one quick second. That's so annoying. Alright, it is what it is, I guess. Okay, no problem. Klein is about to faceless himself into a midwife that can get placenta blood right from the source. True, FQ, that'd be based. Outside the military veterans mess, Gio and Fours hid themselves, monitoring the people coming and going. Gio knew that there were many Beyonders in the club, so she didn't dare get Fours to sneak in. Thankfully, this is Backland. Even though there's no smog this season, there'll be no lack of clouds. The sun won't be too strong, otherwise my skin would turn red, Fours mumbled. Gio was about to say something when she saw a carriage drive into the back doors of the club. Viscount Stratford's carriage, Gio silently mumbled. She then saw the familiar figure who was a stranger to her get off the carriage. What's wrong? Fours asked. I saw Viscount Stratford. He also came to this club, Gio replied. The captain of the Royal Guards? Yeah. Fours turned to gape, hoping to say something, but she was at a loss as to what to say. All she could do was turn around and pretend to monitor for anything that was amiss. After a while, Dwayne walked out. Back at home, he received another guest in the afternoon, Ma'am Mary. I'm very sorry my request has embroiled you in such trouble. I never expected the Baron to do something like that. Poor Quaron. He was planning on bringing his family to Winter County for the summer. Mary Schott apologized. He was planning on bringing his family to Winter County in the summer. That guy sounds as dumb as bricks. Listen, I'm no expert in the fucking topographical, understanding of this world, but I feel like you go to Winter County in the winter, you dumbass. Queen, welcome back. Mary Schott apologized with hints of anger. By the way, Queen, where are you right now in the book? Have you reached 1,000 yet, or are you close? Klein replied calmly, I agree with your views on Quaron. He really was unfortunate. However, this matter likely wasn't done by Baron Sindris. It might be a trap targeting him. Invading Russia in the Winter-ass move? Actually true. Would you go to a place called Winter County during the winter? How cold must it be for them for it to be named after the cold? I live in Canada, so yeah, I would. I have a certain tolerance to cold from being from around here. Winter here feels like winter. Not go there in winter. Going to Japan in the winter is cheap. Thank you for that, Sayura. I appreciate that tidbit of knowledge. I only got through one chapter. I've been super busy lately. Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. Hey, so I'm not that far off from you anymore, eh? I'm like about 100 chapters behind you. That's kind of nuts. Hasta luego. Hasta la vista, baby. I've heard of the theory, Ma'am nodded. It's said that the police department is planning to hire a skilled forensic pathologist to dissect the corpse. Her final sentence was automatically replaced by Klein, as the police department is planning to hire a few skilled medium from the Evernight Church to examine the corpse. I wonder what will be discovered. Klein raised his right hand and tapped his chest 4 times. My friend who was behind you has already finished this volume today. Alright, bye, Mr. Loki. Okay. Again, Nightwalker. I could have read this way faster if I wasn't doing this live. Like, if I wasn't doing this live, I figure I could probably finish Lord of the Mysteries in a month. Her final yes. I wonder what will be discovered. Klein raised his right hand and tapped his chest 4 times. May the goddess give Quaron peace that the true murderer behind his death will suffer punishment. Mary responded in the same way. Okay, show off. Okay. Mary nodded in the same way. In order to prevent you from being affected by this matter, I plan on purchasing the shares ahead of you on time, and I'll add an additional £1,000 above the highest price to date. You don't have to worry about my funds. I've recently been busy borrowing money from the banks. I think then we should worry about your... I skipped too much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also a concern, right? I feel like I've been busy borrowing money from the banks does not make me happy about your financial condition. It makes me go, hey, do you need some time to find some cash? Because you ain't finding cash, you're borrowing cash. The two ain't the same. Klein sighed. I'm very grateful for your kind intentions, but any advance transferring of the shares will need to be done with the church. I've already donated them. I plan on using the income I received to establish the bursary that targets the poor. This was the first time Mary had heard such news. She was stunned. Your character, generosity, and wisdom truly impress me. As she said that, she looked at Dwayne with an additional look of admiration. So wait, just to confirm, Klein donated all of the shares. So what does he mean the income derived from the shares? What does that mean? Like, does he still receive the dividends from the shares? And he just donated the underlying item? Klein humbly diverted the compliment to the goddess before pausing, and said with a stern expression, Ma'am Mary, I have a question that I hope you can answer. When you decided to clash with the Baron to protect your control over the company, was it purely of your own will or a persuasion by others? Mary frowned and replied frankly, all the persuasion directed at me was to give up. He gave the right to the shares to the church, not the... I think he donated the shares for the church to sell to her later. Hold on. So when when Ma'am Mary buys the items back or buys the shares back, does the church get the money or does he get the money? I'm so confused. Did he basically just put up the shares as collateral to get the church to set up the foundation? I'm so fucking confused. The church gets the money? Okay. That's what I was, okay, the church does, okay, the church does get the money, okay. Okay, alright, thanks guys, okay. Klein immediately fell silent as he didn't discuss the matter any further, and he mentioned the Member of Parliament Mock's assault before sending the lady out. After dinner, Walter came to the half-open door on the balcony and said to his employer, on the reclining chair, "Sir, the bounty hunters have been dismissed. A total cost of £300 for 3 days, excluding food." They're finally gone. Klein relaxed. Following that, he eagerly entered the master bedroom and planned on taking out the mushrooms sent to him by Frank and heading above the grey fog to have a chat with creeping hunger. Yes, we're gonna fucking threaten inanimate objects. Fuck yeah. Church gets the money and then the dividend up to sale. So why would Klein donate so much money? Like, I get that it was to distance himself so that he wouldn't be threatened by whatever was happening with the Baron. But god damn, bro. Do you know an ancient city got discovered in Peru? Ever been there? I was helping to make it, Pushkar. Following that, he eagerly when he came to the desk with the hidden mushrooms, he saw a letter held down by ink bottle. Klein picked it up in puzzlement and tore it open. "Dear Mr. Dantes, we are the bodyguards you hired. In the past few days, we discovered matters that we feel that we are obligated to tell you. Therefore, we entered your bedroom to leave this letter while you were having dinner." Charity. Charity. Oh wait, Klein might get to meet Audrey at this party, eh? Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Worth it. Your butler may be researching black magic. Your valet might be worshipping death. Someone among your neighbors has supernatural powers. The street where you live might have certain secrets that causes people to have strange dreams. You should understand that some of the terms mentioned, we won't provide a further explanation. May the goddess bless you. This is like, you pop by someone's house and then before leaving, you leave them a letter and they open the letter and it's like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know your wife is cheating on you, your son is failing school, your daughter has actually left house and she only pops by during dinner time to eat with you guys so that you don't think she's gone and that she's never actually home." You're like, what the fuck is going on around here? Klein looked at the letter in his hands as he was momentarily unsure whether to laugh or cry. After a few seconds, he couldn't help but give a self-deprecating laugh. From the contents of the letter, I really am pitiful, as the matters described don't seem to be problematic in any way. He shook his head with a smile. Klein held the letter in one hand and suddenly shook it. Scarlet flames surged and devoured the piece of paper. Regardless, Miss Gio and Miss Magician are rather kind. The only problem is that they mentioned are things I already know. In fact, I'm more aware of the reasons than they are, Klein mumbled. Klein will say, yeah, exactly. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. There were a total of 4 breeds of mushrooms. One was 3 dried products that could react with water and fish. One was a new breed with golden caps as they emitted the smell of flour. A third was white with specks of black spots and that were swollen and puffy, as though liquid was flowing through them. The fourth had a strange gills running down its side, and its surface was dense with soft scales. Klein swept his gaze at the mushrooms and took out a gold coin. God damn it, Justin. No, that can't be your first message. What are you doing to me? No. um. Klein swept Baldwin is not real. He can't hurt you. Samo, he is very real. He is terrifying. Yeah, no, that would be an amazing reveal, but I'd have to be bald for that, so fuck that. After confirming the results, Klein swept his gaze at the mushrooms and took out a gold coin. He caught it, then flicked it. After confirming the results, he took off the ordinary glove he previously wore. With his bare skin, he grabbed the 3 mushrooms to test various scenarios that Frank hadn't mentioned. Just rip off all your hair? Yeah. What do you mean he's sitting right in front of us? Yeah, cute. You don't know that he uses filter to make his hair? You do understand the green screen would get rid of that, right? But whatever. They felt normal to the touch, and there wasn't any change to the mushroom. Klein heaved a sigh of relief, no longer afraid that the level of danger they possessed exceeded his capabilities. He was previously afraid that these mushrooms would rapidly produce roots upon contact with items of flesh and blood, devouring whatever was in its path. Although it's a relatively strong light from the gas lamps, or it might be the result of plucking them, which causes these mushrooms to lose most of their living characteristic. I just saw your hand phase through your hair. Yeah, it's called running your hand through your hair, bro. What do you mean? How convenient. You added the green screen when you added this emo. Hey, listen, okay? You see, it's blocking it out. There's nothing. We're fine. And it's an AI filter, premium AI filter. Yeah, I'm gonna get that premium gas for my fucking, I'm gonna get that premium air for my tires. Yeah, cool. It was previously, yes, okay. Perhaps it's the relatively strong light from the gas lamps, or it might be the result of plucking them, which causes these mushrooms to lose most of their living characteristics. They will be revived only under special circumstances, such as being in the stomach of a living creature. With the intention of figuring out the truth, he drew all the curtains to the bedrooms and extinguished the wall lamps. He then picked up the new mushroom with his bare hand and determined there wasn't any abnormal things about them. After doing this, Klein lit the wall lamps again and set up a ritual, sacrificing the mushrooms above the grey fog. Bro, the grey fog is just like, it's like, bro, am I a fucking storage closet? What is happening? Username, that one was good. That was good. Damn, that one hurt. In just a few seconds, the mushroom suddenly softened at the part... No, wait, hold on. Sitting in the fool seat, he wasn't in a rush to summon creeping hunger. He first summoned a metal bottle that had his blood inside the long bronze table. Right on the heels of that, he poured a drop of blood on the table and piled the 3 new braids of mushrooms onto it. In just a second, the mushrooms suddenly softened at the part where they made contact with the blood. They squirmed as they enveloped the blood. Whatever they made contact with grew a dense array of needle-like hair. Shout out to the iron cigar case. I know. Mezzo, a meme I saw a while back was like, the only thing that survives the entirety of fucking Lord of the Mysteries is the iron cigar case. And I was like, that's so clever. The corner of Klein's mouth twitched when he saw that he directly adjusted some of the powers of the mysterious space above the grey fog, suppressing all the mushrooms. Then he sent the drop of blood back into the metal bottle, then closed the lid. He roughly understood that the characteristics of the mushrooms. Without wasting any time, he summoned Creeping Hunger from a junk pile, holding the thin, human-skinned glove. Klein placed it on the table to remove the seal around the mushrooms. Then he saw Creeping Hunger support itself with its 5 fingers before standing up with great difficulty. It began retreating rapidly like it was playing a piano. So you do know fear. Klein revealed a genial smile. What a fucking sociopath. Jesus. The iron cigar case is the uniqueness of the smoker pathway. Milos, the smoker pathway, is that the sequence 0 name of the drug addict pathway? Klein revealed a genial smile. He then pressed down on the glove and gifted it some of the mysterious powers of the grey fog. He then grabbed a mushroom with his other hand and brought it close to Creeping Hunger. The human skin glove struggled with all its might but failed to escape its grasp as it immediately began trembling. Klein stopped moving the hand with the mushroom and chuckled. Are you still going to randomly praise the true creator? Creeping Hunger continued struggling without giving a reply. I'll allow you to praise it once a day. In the day or in the evening. Creeping Hunger struggling weakened, but it didn't stop. Klein continued negotiating. Thrice a day, during breakfast, lunch, and dinner time, but you must warn me ahead of time. Creeping Hunger struggled twice before sprawling onto the desk, motionless. Damn. We can just threaten inanimate objects. Listen to me! Listen to me! You will stop praising your crazy fucking god! Okay, once a day. No, twice a day. Fuck! 3 times a day. Damn it, fine. After another round of negotiations, Klein successfully reached an agreement with Creeping Hunger. However, eating daily was instinctual to the item. It was unable to be weakened much as a result of the negotiations. Therefore, he needed to wait for the sealing method to be produced by Mr. Azek. At present, what Klein could do was bring Creeping Hunger around without it eating. However, he needed to come up with a meal within 24 hours. How troublesome. Thankfully, after Creeping Hunger fused with Mr. Ray and the mushroom, its living characteristic has strengthened. Otherwise, there'd be no way to make any negotiations with it. Klein commented wistfully. Finally, he did a divination regarding recent matters and received a conclusion that there wasn't too much danger. He also got a confirmation that Quaron's suicide was a result of the influence of a Beyonder. Ooh. Ramiro, I think, has just been busy. Last time we talked, he said like he was running around to a whole bunch of like events and stuff. So I don't know. So I think he's just busy. Are the eyebrows even real, Wiz? That's for me to know and for you to find out, Pushkar. After passing through the main entrance, he was led by a priest to the huge adjacent hall. There was a sacred emblem representing the Evernight goddess placed inside. High above were a few miniature crystals hanging down. In front of it were thin, long candles, as well as overturned round metal lids used to store wax. Are your clothes real? No, definitely not. This is just CGI. At this moment, all of them had been lit, illuminating the hall with brightness. It had quite a holy feeling to it. Are you Deadpool, Wiz? With no cancer, just no hair? Yes, in fact, Demodar, if you shot me, I just instantly heal. I'm what's Mr. A's pathway? That one. The Rose Bishop, there we go. At this moment, Klein glanced over and saw a series of neatly arranged seats and guests. Among them, the women wore 2 types of clothing. One was dresses that were either bright or dark color. They were either bold or liberal in their dressing, allowing them to see the fair flesh at their bosom or their shoulders. The other type wore pure and fresh colors in relatively conservative clothing. Even their collarbone could hardly be seen. Based on what Klein knew, this was different between... wasn't Mr. A... Yeah. This was the difference between married and unmarried women in the Lone Kingdom. As for widows or divorced, they could choose between the two, but they tended to choose former colors. But they tended to choose darker colors. As for, aside from that, Klein also saw shimmering necklaces and exquisite earrings, as well as all kinds of valuable accessories. They were a lot more impressive than what the guests that had attended the ball or banquet which Macht or himself had hosted. After walking into the hall, Klein greeted the bishop, Macht, and others he knew and exchanged pleasantries. At this moment, there was a sound from the door as many guests turned to look. Klein's eyes lit up before it froze. At the entrance of the hall, the most attractive one, there was a girl with lustrous blonde hair. Her beautiful eyes were like emeralds. They appeared like the sea which hid a maelstrom, making anyone who looked at her unable to look away. Her facial features were pretty, and they were with an outstanding bearing. Her looks were nearly flawless, making the men and women present find it difficult to notice what kind of dress she was wearing. However, Klein swept his gaze to the necklace at her collarbone. A lustrous, perfect pearl was embedded at the crevice between the intersection of her collarbone. It softened the lines at her neck. Klein had met her before. She was none other than the Tarot Club's Miss Justice. Back when she used magic mirror divination, Klein had seen her before. Immediately, Klein moved his gaze away, without daring to look again. Ooh. This was an instinctive reaction of his, as he knew Miss Justice was a beyonder of the spectator pathway. If he garnered her attention, it was easy for her to read his true thoughts and secrets based on the changes of his expressions and body language. But his mind raced, quickly forcing him to turn his head as he continued gazing at Miss Justice. He discovered that him avoiding her made it worse and more obvious. Stuck between a fire and a frying pan. Oof. How could a gentleman who liked all kinds of women not take a glance when encountering such a beauty? At the same time, Audrey sensed the abnormality of a particular man. His sideburns are a little white, his looks and bearings aren't bad, making him appear profound. This is likely Mr. Dwayne Dantes, who donated more than £10,000 to establish a bursary for the poor. His reaction was a little odd, as though he was trying to hide something. Oh, she's so clever. To Audrey, Dwayne's act of moving his gaze away was actually pretty normal. She had encountered many similar situations. Some men would indeed subconsciously turn their head away after seeing her, as though afraid that she would notice it, or they would make eye contact, exposing their moment of being mesmerized. Noticed immediately, dude. Oof. Does Audrey being so beautiful have to do with her pathway? No, she's just that beautiful, Sarah. She's no demoness. Therefore, what was odd wasn't that Dwayne had moved his gaze away, instead that he turned back. In addition, Audrey felt the greatest problem was this gentleman's emotions were more of a shock instead of amazement. Won the Spawn Point lottery, actually. Audrey's the it girl, yeah, for real. What's he shocked about? What's he trying to hide? With her questions, Audrey greeted her parents and brothers and people. Seeing Miss Justice no longer paying attention to him, Klein heaved a sigh of relief. I need to be more careful playing the role of Dwayne. I mustn't let a spectator notice any problems. Regardless of whether Miss Justice noticed it or not, I've already thought of an excuse for my reaction. Miss Justice is a lady from a powerful family. I wonder what her last name is. I'll ask Macht or Bishop Electra later. Amidst his thoughts, Klein frowned slightly, having a nagging feeling that he was being watched. Following his intuition, he swept his gaze at the door. There was a golden retriever sitting there. Susie! The GOAT finally meets... The MC of the story meets the fake, think, wannabe, gray fog having bullshit MC. Truly. Bro. Now all we need is for Susie to run into Leonard, and now we're meeting the true MC with the second in command MC, and then we're chilling, okay? Oh, Klein is cooked. Klein is cooked. He's gonna get found out so quick. Still haven't switched Susie emoji? Bitch. No, I have not. Hold on. Okay, sorry, we're good now. I apologize. Klein had an extra magician faceless potion to digest because of Rosego's characteristics. 2 spectators, you're welcome. Alright. Members, feel free to refresh the stream and you should have the new updated Susie emoji. When the ghost gaze of the golden retriever pierced through the curtains from the shadows, Klein's brows indiscernibly twitched. How terrifying. Why is that dog sitting in the corner, hiding in the shadows? It was silently watching everyone. Miss Justice seems to have fed a spectator potion to an animal, and at once asked the hanged man for advice. Don't tell me it's her golden retriever. 2 spectators, one out in the open and one in the dark? Who can handle that? In high society, Miss Justice and the dog are unlikely to be the only spectators. Her joining the psychology alchemist was a result of other nobles as well. It seems like it was done by the Duchess Negan's sister. As Klein lampooned... Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, the aspect ratio is not right. Okay, hold on. Mocked glanced at Dwayne and chuckled. Eastchester's... wait, what? No, the aspect ratio is incorrect. Susie overpowered? Actually, dude. Even Klein, with all of his abilities, is like, bro, who can deal with Susie? She's cracked. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. The aspect ratio is wrong. I'm gonna have to adjust that. We'll just do it later. Fuck it. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, Susie's correct. No one ever looks at her twice. She could just go in there, sit, and learn all the important shit. Eastchester's Earl's family. You can directly call him Earl Hall. You should have heard of him. That's his wife, Ma'am Caitlin. Merlin, how's it going? That's his eldest son, Lord Hibbert. You should have already met him. Upon hearing Mock's introduction, Klein suddenly broke out into a cold sweat because he had indeed met Hibbert Hall at the ball Mock hoisted. However, he failed to notice the Lord, or he wouldn't have raised the question. I was shocked by Miss Justice's sudden appearance. Mock continued, that's his daughter, Miss Audrey Hall. In the social scene over the past 2 years, she has earned the title of the most stunning gem in Backland. It's very apt, isn't it? She's being courted by princes, dukes, and many honorable excellencies and gentlemen. Mocked concealed meaning was clear. He was saying to this man, who liked all kinds of women, not to place his sights on the lady. She was a target he had no thought of making contact with. As for Klein, he was having other thoughts. So Miss Justice is the Earl's daughter. No wonder she's so rich. I love how Klein, for like half a second, was like, she's pretty, whatever. And he's like, oh my god, now it makes sense why she's so rich. She never bargains. Her father owns the banks. Like, this is where he's spending all of his money. He's like, pretty, whatever. She's fine. Earl Hall is one of the top bankers in the kingdom and one of the most influential members of Parliament and one of the hereditary peerage. His wealth is much more than Baron Cindrus. Even if Miss Justice is unable to inherit the aristocratic title and family estate, the wealth she will inherit will at least be in the hundreds of thousands of pounds. From her looks, birth, and character, she is indeed the best choice for a marriage partner of the royal family or nobles. She's a rich, dude. However, the way she has repeatedly been buying mystical items doesn't look like someone with a wealth of only a few £100,000. She's able to claim it from her father? I also wish to have one like that. Klein replied to Mock's warning and said, I've heard of various rumors about Miss Audrey. It's only today that I've realized that they aren't exaggerated. Unfortunately, I'm neither a prince nor an heir to a duke, marquis, viscount, or earl. Otherwise, I would have been one of her pursuers. Bro, you're 50. She's like 17. Get it together. God. Mox didn't continue the topic as he began introducing the various guests he knew to Dwayne. He had truly led him to high society. Of course, the greatest supporter involved in this was the Church of the Evernight. Without the party being held for the Foundation, Mox wouldn't have had the chance to bring Dwayne to meet so many people. Marquis Losent, Earl Gross, Viscount Loveland, and the aristocratic believers of the goddess separately exchanged pleasantries with Dwayne with a rather genial attitude. Before Mox was done, an elder walked into the hall. He was wearing a black clergyman robe with dark accents. He was clean-shaven and his eyes deep, dark, and tranquil. Everyone turned to face the elder and bowed. "Good evening, your grace." This elder was none other than Saint Anthony Stevenson, one of the 13 archbishops of the Evernight Church. So I would assume an archbishop is at least a saint? Is that fair? No, Merlin, no. God damn it. Every time a new person uses the bald emoji, part of my soul dies. When they're saints? Okay. When Klein saw the Archbishop, his body and mind involuntarily trembled. He swept his gaze and saw that the other guests didn't have any strong reactions. He realized that the horror which St. Anthony carried with him was more likely felt with people with strong spirituality. He entered cogitation in an attempt to calm himself. When he managed to control his trembling, St. Anthony had already smiled. He surveyed the area and tapped his chest 4 times in a clockwise fashion. "Praise the lady! Praise the lady!" the guests replied. With the Archbishop's arrival, Mox stopped introducing Klein to the guests because the party had officially started. Would you prefer people use the bald emoji more or the Ankh emoji more? Truly, it is so depressing. Everyone, I would like to thank you all for coming. Your character is a resplendent star in the serene night. Our establishment of a bursary foundation targeted at the poor stems from Mr. Dwayne Dantas' suggestion. He is a truly honorable gentleman. His piousness and character are impeccable and a definitive role model to others. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Dwayne Dantas to give a brief speech. Although Klein was already prepared, he drew a grasp inwardly as he heard the last sentence. This was different from usual. There were 2 or even more spectators around. It wasn't something that he could bullshit through even if he wanted to. The contents of his speech needed to be sufficiently realistic, without them being able to see through his lies or fake examples. The holy portraits of the Church of Wiz. You walk in, you see that, and you're like, damn, we are truly in the presence of the divine, you know? Such a shiny forehead, it cannot be emulated by mere humans. It is truly the work of the divine. Some archbishops are sequence 5s with divine artifacts like the goddess's sword. Oh, cool. Okay, thank you. Coming up behind the podium and steadying himself, he surveyed the nobles and smiled. "I'm a little nervous. This is my first time being stared at by so many people. I was once active in a region where the poor gathered. I was active in the chaotic southern continent and thus saw many things. There was a young lady who helped her mother make pasted matchboxes from the age of 6. If she didn't do that, they wouldn't have the money to buy rye bread after paying rent. The rye bread they eat is filled with mill feed, and occasionally they would bite into gravel or rocks. The hardness made it usable as a rod to attack others. When this girl gradually grew up, although she led a laborious life, she and her family lacked any additional funds. She still looked forward to the night school ran by the church. Oh, he's using Liz's daughters as an example. Okay. She wished to learn how to study in order to grasp knowledge. This is because she knew that only by doing so could she stop living the way she did. Only by doing so would she not starve and be able to wear clothes that could really protect her from the cold. She wouldn't need to work at factories in harsh conditions and end up dying in her 20s. Klein had selected a portion of his experiences of the poor kids he had met before, merging them together as he conveyed his true feelings. He could see many ladies more or less reveal looks of empathy. A number of girls had their eyes flicker, such as Audrey. She really is an easily moved child. I've acted from the bottom of my heart. I've even moved myself, much less a spectator. However, most gentlemen aren't moved. Most of them seem to already be aware of the situation. Some don't mind those of the lower class. Bye, username. Klein swept his gaze as he continued. Our industry has been developing. In the future, we will definitely need more illiterate workers. Our election criteria has been relaxed. In the future, the ones who are eligible to vote will definitely include most of the educated. With the empathy towards these poor children and the expectation of the kingdom's future, I have decided to donate all my coin company shares that I have on hand to establish a bursary foundation that targets the poor. It lets them have the opportunity to enter the official institutes of higher learning after attending the free night school. Good for them. So basically, after they've completed the night school, it allows them to, it will pay for their learning if they go to a technical school or something, whatever else. That's great. Earl Hall, who had a beautiful moustache, nodded when he heard that. He was the first to raise his hand to gently clap. Amidst the vigorous applause, Klein returned to the seat belonging to him. Bishop Electra headed up and announced, "The shares that Mr. Dwayne donated are valued at £15,000. We would use it to establish a lone charity bursary foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you agree with him and pity those children who thirst for knowledge, you can contribute to this foundation." As he spoke, he pointed to the donation box beside him. Audrey retracted her gaze and said, "Father, I plan on donating £1,000. What about yourself?" As he spoke, her mind quickly surmised what she had observed. Dwayne likely lived a lower-class life. His pity, empathy, and speech were all realistic. Those children are truly pitiful. Just now, when the bishop mentioned that the shares were valued at £15,000, the corners of his mouth twitched. From the looks of it, he likely feels the pinch when donating the money. But the sincerity of him donating doesn't seem fake. This means the gentleman who loves money, but he loves his kindness even more. Aww. Why was he shocked when he saw me? What is he hiding? Has he seen me somewhere but doesn't know my identity? But there's no need to hide that. He identified my necklace as a mystical item, so he was shocked? If that's the case, it definitely means he's a beyonder, and not a low sequencer either. I'll ask Susie later when I'm back. Perhaps she noticed some other details she was hiding in the darkness. Amidst her thoughts, Audrey saw her father wore a smile as he took out a checkbook and fountain pen. The value he wrote was £10,000. My go, Earl Hall! He came in, he was like, "That is a truly profound gentleman." £10,000. Why not? What a guy, dude. What a guy. Casually donates $1 million. Bill Gates could never. So maybe Klein might be able to get close to the Hall family through this? Because if that's the case, we're cooking. You know what I mean? Like the Hall family is the rich. If we can get close to them, he can even get close to the fucking royal family if he needed to. Which he needs to, because he needs to find out. Pushkar, I don't even know if that's possible. Because the code would theoretically need access to all the chapter names, and it's just such a mess. 10,000 pounds. Audrey blinked as she used a very slight change in expression to express her surprise. Without needing to voice her question, Earl Hall noticed her puzzlement and chuckled. This is an insightful man. His ideas have inspired and resonated with me. Please. Besides, we can't ignore the misery that objectively exists just because it can't be resolved anytime soon. Audrey vaguely understood her father, but she also didn't fully understand him. She nodded slightly, took out her checkbook, and wrote down 1,000 pounds. This was a charity ball. Furthermore, it was held in a side hall of the cathedral, so there weren't any dances or extravagant arrangements. There weren't any valets or lady maids followed by their sides. It was a simple charity event that had some degree of donation involved. The ladies undoubtedly brought their bags on them. The guests subsequently threw their checks into the donation box and headed for the 2 long tables for some beverages or food. This was closer to that of a buffet-style party. Okay, thanks for popping by, Damador. See you, man. Sharon. I agree, Merlin. Sharon supremeness for real. St. Anthony's. Klein also accompanied Electra and came to St. Anthony's side and was introduced to him. St. Anthony smiled in response to Dwayne's greeting. Very good. We are proud to have a believer like yourself. It's the goddess that has taught us the character that is more important than status. Therefore, you are an extremely honorable gentleman. To be frank, faced with this saint, Klein's heart was drumming because deities or beyonders related to the fate domain were able to see the Grey Fog's aura on him. Oh, that's why he's shitting himself. That makes sense. Okay. For example, everyone of the Monster Pathway or the Evernight Goddess who wielded the authority of misfortune. As for St. Anthony, if he was a high-sequence Beyonder of the Sleepless Pathway and grasped Beyonder powers involving misfortune, there was a high chance he could see a problem with Dwayne. As such, Klein had headed above the Grey Fog to divine before entering the charity party. He received an answer that there wasn't any danger. Since the goddess didn't say anything, even if her archbishop were to discover some problem, he will feign some ignorance. I've been to the cathedral recently and to pray and listen to the bishop's preaching in recent times. Even my soul seems to have been cleansed. Therefore, I abided by the goddess's teaching to pass such beauty and hope to others. St. Anthony nodded. In front of the goddess, all believers are differentiated by their character, regardless of nobility. They are all the same. I hope those people who live in poor environments will liberate themselves of fear and receive serenity. Praise the lady. Praise the lady, Klein and Electra said. What is happening in chat? Seeing St. Anthony turn towards the other believers, Klein planned on heading to the table to get a glass of champagne. At this moment, he saw a gentleman approach him, the powerful Earl Hall. Of course, to him, the most important identity of this noble was that he was Miss Justice's father, and Audrey happened to be by his side. She was observing Dwayne with her bright eyes. This made Klein feel uncomfortable. I need to present the persona that matches Dwayne. A person of ordinary birth who's worked hard to get himself to high society. At this moment, he's bound to be a little nervous and restrained. Likewise, a gentleman who loves beautiful ladies will feel the same feelings when faced with the most stunning gem of Backland. But he will also unknowingly showcase his own breadth of knowledge and showcase his charm to express desire. An experienced tycoon who has survived the chaos must be someone who has pride and confidence in themselves. No matter what he faces, he will try his best to appear calm, respectful. Klein's thoughts raced as he smiled and said to the approaching Hall, "Honorable Earl, I happen to see the check you donated. Your kindness and generosity truly impress me. Yet you never flaunted that or informed others how much you've donated. No, compared to you, the price I pay is far inferior to what you've made." Between the lines, he meant that £15,000 might be a tenth of Dwayne's overall fortune, or even a fifth, but £10,000 to him was like a thousandth, or even lesser. Therefore, the former had paid a greater price. Oh, that is very cute, though. Mr. Shark, how's it going? That's very kind. From my point of view, as long as the poor who yearn to use knowledge to change their fate can be helped, all donations are kind and sufficiently benevolent. From this angle, the only difference between 10 and 15,000 pounds is just 5,000 pounds. Klein tried hard to express his sincerity. As he deliberately glanced at the listening blonde girl, he knew that an ordinary without a trace was obvious in the eyes of a spectator. Audrey wore a faint smile as she listened to her father's and Dwayne's conversation. Although she hadn't noticed a gentleman peek at her, this made Klein lack confidence from his failure, and at receiving any feedback from his performance. Earl Hall laughed. Then we shall agree to disagree. This is nothing bad. At the very least, we are praising one another. I can tell you once that a difficult period, I can tell that you once had a difficult period and led the life of the poor. I do not avoid my past. They are my valuable riches. And this is something me and my friends lack, the Earl commented. And it's because of this that you possess a uniqueness and a wise point of view. I hope that there will be opportunities in the future to work with you. That is also something I look forward to, Klein replied. The Earl pointed to his side and said, a couple of my friends are waiting for me. I hope that your charitable ways and wealth keep increasing. How was Foggytown? Foggytown was insane, Mr. Shark. Don't even ask me about that. I can't even... My god, it was nuts from beginning to end. We got the whole Seer pathway. I was not expecting that. Rank Lord of the Mystery ships. Well then, Pushkar, you're gonna have to give me a list which ones you want me to rank. I'm not doing it off the top of my head. If you give me a list of like 4 or 5 you want me to rank, I'll rank them, no problem. I have always been rich, and now that you are rich, you are still poor to me. Praise the lady. Klein didn't drag on the conversation. This one? Justin? This one? How was Leonard becoming a gravedigger? That was unexpected. I did not see, like, Leonard was like, making some connections in his mind, and I was like, oh, he's so clever. I did not foresee that this motherfucker was just gonna go dig up Klein's corpse. That was crazy. Do you look at them after looking at art? Alright, sounds good. Thanks, Milosh. Okay, so we'll rank the ships after, okay? Praise the lady. Earl Hall and Audrey tapped their chest. Walking them past in another direction, Klein heaved a sigh of relief. Tensely, he looked up and saw silently sitting there a golden retriever. Susie, you're terrifying him. On the carriage back to Empress Borough, Earl Hall looked like he was resting with his eyes closed. As he looked at his daughter and said, Audrey, didn't you mention that you want to join one of the church's organizations? Are you interested in joining this foundation? Ah. It's only a small foundation, Audrey's brother Hibbert argued for his sister. Earl Hall shook his head. I've asked a few bishops. The total amount donated tonight has reached £100,000. Why do you think there's so much? Hibbert frowned. They were bribed? No, at the same time, Audrey gave her point of view. Knowledge and the relaxing of the electoral qualifications? Earl Hall nodded. Nothing is an essential existence, including humans themselves as well as the nobility. He then looked at Audrey and said with a smile, there's no need to force yourself. I can get others to join the foundation, the Bursary Foundation. I just wish that you will gain more knowledge because of this and view certain matters with definite and immutability. Even if you miss this, there will be other organizations. Father, I'll consider it, Audrey replied. Hibbert is not the slave one, right? There's another one? After hearing Dwayne's recount of the stories of the poor, she had already decided on joining to gather more donation, to contact the government and organize events to contribute to the cause. She was hesitant because she felt the middle-aged man was a little problematic. After returning home, Audrey brought Susie to her door and closed the door. Audrey brought Susie to her room and closed the door. Susie, what's your take on Dwayne? He seems to know you or something on you. Also, a lot of the time he's acting and leaving a certain degree of clues. He seems to be guarded against me. He's very sharp. Yeah, I noticed that too. He acted very well, but it's still an act. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. But even they couldn't tell. This is an act of an act of an act of an act. Have you seen the Gachia Kuta anime? No, I haven't even heard of that. What the fuck is that? Gachi Atuka? Oh, it came out this year. Huh. What is this? Is it any good? At the social event, and faced with different people, we will all play different roles and engage in acting. The biggest problem stems from the shock when he saw me. He was almost horrified. Also, when he was embroiled in 2 cases, one after another, especially with the case regarding the Baron, it seems to have some Beyonder elements. Susie gasped her mouth, unable to give a definitive explanation. All she could do was woof. I'll get someone to investigate Dwayne, and after confirming there aren't any problems, I'll join the Bursary Foundation. Alright. It's almost Monday. I can request Force and Mr. Moon. They're both in Backland. I don't know when will oh, next fuck is the Tarot Gathering. Okay. So then we'll see. I'll read for a little bit. I don't want to go for too much longer, just because I have to go to the gym. So we'll see, okay? Monday afternoon at 3. The dark red beam shot up in a grand palace, materializing into bronze, blurry figures. Audrey surveyed the area and looked to the seat of honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Fool. 866. Home. Nah, fuck the gym. Keep reading, Unk. You can't say Unk and then fuck the gym in the same sentence. That's so counter. Upon seeing Miss Justice's greeting, the fool... Justin, you still haven't told me your age, motherfucker. How old are you? I've seen old men there. Don't get discouraged. Listen up, you young bucks. I've been going to the gym since you were shitting in your diaper, okay? How about you calm yourself? Upon hearing Miss Justice's greeting, the fool suddenly had a strong, wistful feeling. After knowing her identity, status, and looks, he had a deeper understanding as to why Audrey's tone had such a radiant and happy air. He understood that where they essentially came from, but they didn't end up envious or jealous because of that, nor did he believe that she lacked the toughness that was brought about by misery. A smile surfaced on his face as he gently nodded in acknowledgement of the Justice's greeting. Cattleya nudged her glasses and said, Honorable Mr. Fool, there are 3 diary pages this time. Very good, Klein lampooned. We still want to see your reaction on the next arc, Unk. Don't overwork. When does this next arc start, Thunder, that you guys are so excited about? Home is a chapter for real. A few seconds later, Cattleya conjured the diary pages and as they leapt into the fool's hands. As Klein glanced at it, his heart skipped a beat. He realized that the pages provided by Queen Mystic depicted Emperor Rosel's early days and didn't contain anything important. Logically speaking, when being unable to distinguish the importance of entries, one will definitely prioritize the latter. This would restore the mystery as to why the Rosel was agitated. And Queen Mystic would definitely be aware. 21st September, I arrived at Saint Milome. I've officially begun my first state visit. Faceac's weather is really cold. It's not even October and it looks like it's about to snow. No wonder it's famous for its coats and winter wear, as well as its liquor. Fuck, the people here are ridiculously tall. As expected of a country that descended from the giants. However, I have to say that I hate it when people look down on me. So, the City of Silver might have been a place from Faceac, maybe? 940? What do you mean close? We're like 70 chapters away. Tonight, I'll be heading to the bar to find a Faceac beauty to share some drinks. Upon reading this, Klein suspected if Queen Mystic had a brother of Faceac descent. Holding back his tisking inwardly, Klein swept his gaze at the second entry. September 22nd, I think I blacked out. What happened last night? What happened with the Faceac beauty? I actually lost to her in drinking. The embassy staff told me that the women here are often better at drinking than men. I should show some temperance when I head to bars in the future. I definitely don't want some ugly middle-aged woman to do unspeakable things to me after I black out. Jesus Christ. The alcohol here sure is strong. My headache has lasted the entire day. Thankfully, my stomach doesn't hurt. I should sleep early. I'll be visiting the Great Twilight Hall tomorrow. September 23rd. The Great Twilight Hall sure is grand. It's like a myth materializing into reality. The building seems to be completely prepared for giants. Since I don't share their fate, I can only circle the perimeter. The square at the bottom of the Great Twilight Hall is filled with the fragrance of alcohol. There are plenty of people there, some kneeling, some sitting, and others playing instruments. They exude a rather relaxed and open feeling. Milos, who amongst us doesn't wish to climb mountains? I got to know a person from Faceac who blows a bone flute. Compared to his kinsman, he's ridiculously tall, roughly 3 meters tall. But don't get stuck on the tree. The climber. Okay, his name is Honegger, and he claims to be from one of the clans in Faceac that have the purest giant bloodline. The way he plays the bone flute looks very sorrowful, as though he doesn't belong here but has no idea where to go. Compared to the skirt chasers in Intes, he's a lot more like a poet. Now that I mention it, I really can't help but give some criticism. These guys seem to wear any sexual disease as a badge of honor. It just messes up the entire social market. Wow, but don't get stuck on the tree. I knew a very tall girl back in school. She was fun to hang out with and really chill. I even told her my type of girl. My dear poet. I had a chat with Honegger for a while and raised my question from before. He said that he's only homesick, but the problem lies in the fact that he's a true blue native of St. Malone. He's never left this place. Could he be, could Honegger be a transmigrator? Honegger didn't immediately reply to me as he played the bone flute for a few minutes. He later told me that he misses the origins of the giant bloodline, the giant king's court mentioned in myths. He told me that he and his clan often dreamt of tall mountains that are used as the giant city walls. It's a palace forever, bathed in twilight glow, with tall towers and other kinds of buildings. It resembled the Great Twilight Hall, but it's even more fascinating, epic, and miraculous. Oh, it literally... Okay, it's referring to like a more abstract home. Okay. He paused. No, Milos, I was just thinking. Without anyone needing to tell them, Honegger and his clansmen believe that it's a giant king's court. Towards the end of our conversation, Honegger stood up and thanked me for listening. He was going to leave Faceak and seek out the giant king's court, to find the home of his soul. He believed that in the zone in the eastern front of the Sonia Sea there might be a path that leads to the court. He said that a millennia had passed, but the giants had never forgotten their home. Now it's time to follow the footsteps of their ancestors. This path will never stop until the destination is reached. Klein felt for the first time that his feelings resonated with the Emperor. Although Roselle only wrote the word home that seemed to repeat without describing his feelings, Klein could understand the undulating feelings of the Emperor. This was because he and Roselle were like Honegger. They had a home they belonged to spiritually. Sighing inwardly, Klein flipped to the second page. 10th January, visited Sonia Island. This place is also called the Ancient Elf Island. It had plenty of elven ruins and customs left over. I was surprised on the first day. The elves actually make blood cake as they enjoy eating animal organs. They even invented chopsticks? Thinking about the elven depictions of the murals, apart from their blue hair, their facial contours, and eyes that are similar to Asians on Earth, could they be my fellow countrymen? Could like the Elf King Sonia Theron or like the Queen of Calamity, whatever her name is, be transmigrators maybe? Back then I had such suspicions too. However, it's impossible for so many people to transmigrate at once since they almost had an entire race. Kohanim, yeah. I felt that I was overthinking matters, but it doesn't make sense that the customs and cutlery that appear on Earth won't appear here. As Klein thought in interest as he quietly continued reading. 13th January. I've been so busy searching for writings, relics, and folk tales that I forgot to write in my diary for a few days. Although many objects have been taken away by the various churches, I've still obtained something of value. By the way, can I just say how much of an asshole I think Klein is for reading Roselle's diary but not writing any of his own? What if there comes another transmigrator in this world later and then they won't be able to receive any help from you and your knowledge, you asshat? You're learning from Roselle and it's helping you so much, so how about you do the same for people ahead of you? Although many objects have been taken by the churches, I've still obtained something of value. Various legends have it that Elf King Sonia Theron created chopsticks. There are records of him using animal organs and blood to cook delicacies. There are stories of this ancient god being good at identifying and using spices. It is acknowledged that he is their founding ancestor, the first elf. Due to certain reasons, he led the race and left the western continent that had only existed in legends, bringing them to the northern continent. Could it be that this is a fellow countryman of mine, a transmigrator? He later produced an entire race. There's nothing ancient gods can't do, including having children. He apparently had a wife who was also an elf. I need to think this through. So maybe he and Kohanim were transmigrators and they transmigrated together? Wrongs, all the same. If I do a thing for me but it inadvertently helps others, it still helped others. 16th January. After some further investigation, Elven might have nothing to do with transmigrators. At the very least, they didn't leave behind any Chinese, English, or other symbols. They've likely been using Elvish the whole time. Nothing of it gives me a sense of familiarity. Furthermore, the inventions we have in common didn't appear before I came. Likewise, for famous quotes, there are only proverbs and idioms with similar meanings but different choice of words. All the items and legends I have now, none of them support my theory. It's a little disappointing, but it also makes me relieved. If I were to encounter another transmigrator, I really have no idea how to face them. January 17th. I've dreamt of home. I've nearly forgotten. Indeed, the Emperor has more or less given up on that theory. Klein then flipped to the last page. Klein then flipped to the next page and saw the final diary entry. 2nd April. My daughter is smart. She can speak before the age of 1. Although she has only learned of a few words, I believe that her subsequent development can't be slow. She must have inherited this from me. No matter how I look, she looks a little like how I look on Earth. Could it be that a soul will also bring about some inheritance? I'll just treat it as so. Bernadette, this name is quite good. It sounds beautiful, but deep in my heart, I keep having the urge to give her a Chinese nickname. She won't get to see her real grandmother or grandfather. Despite how much of an asshole Roselle can be at times, he is also, nice at other times. I guess that's like the basic requirement for being a human. I have such low expectations of Roselle. I expect him to be a horn dog at all points in time. April 3rd. I suffered from insomnia last night because of my wistful thoughts. Thankfully, I had no cogitation. However, this also made me consider a problem, whether I should secretly teach Bernadette Chinese. No, I can't. If she were to understand the diary entries her father had written, I'd kill myself. In my daughter's heart, her father is filled with honor. However, using Chinese to write my diary is my final tether to the earth and my past. My daughter should inherit this. After a few days of consideration, I've decided to teach Bernadette 2 Chinese characters as though they are special symbols. I'll tell her that this is a protective incantation that her father is giving her, and that she should remember it forever. She doesn't know the meaning. All she needs to do is remember it. The word in Chinese is home. Klein repeated this word as his eyes reddened a little. He understood why Queen Mystic had chosen these words. This was because it was a protective symbol her father had left her. Home. That's so sweet. Oh, that is actually so sweet. What the fuck? At this moment, Klein seemed to see a river of emotions. It surfaced, was silently flowing, but there were infinite things flowing underneath. Klein retracted his gaze and made the pages disappear and looked up at Cat Leia. What's your question? Good father, Pog. Listen, Roselle, despite how he was with everyone else, it seems like he really did truly love Bernadette and his kids. Well, maybe, I don't know about his other kids because we just know about Bernadette, but it seems like he really did love her. Like, when Zaratul said she's gonna, betray you, the only thing he thought about was, my sweet Bernadette's gonna betray me. It wasn't like any hatred or contempt towards his child. It was really like damn, like, she wouldn't do that. She's so sweet. Guess what her question is? She's probably gonna ask what the symbols that her father taught her mean, if I had to guess. Seems fitting. Roselle was a good father. He even became an enemy of the god of steam and machinery because of his... That is true. Because they said, like, oh, they're making him to be a believer of their fate, and they're making him to be, like, just a puppet of them. How fucking dare they? He was a good father. Despite saying, like, I don't feel that attached to them, because, like, I don't feel like I'm from this earth, all that stuff. He still really did care for them. When looking at Cat Leia, Klein had guessed what her request would be as he sighed and felt confident. Honorable Mr. Fool, I would like to know the meaning of these 2 symbols. After receiving permission, she conjured the letters. They were Zhu and Jiang. When combined together, they mean home, the homeland for one's soul. When combined together, the homeland for one's soul. Cat Leia placed the emphasis on the second sentence because she knew very well where home was for the Queen Mystic. No, he didn't feel attached to his parents and wife. He was actually attached to his kids. Oh, okay. No, he feels attached to them. It's just that the godhood when he becomes an angel. I don't think so, Thunder, because there was like a diary entry where it was all talked about like just he felt disconnected from the world as a whole, even before becoming a angel or a beyond or a demigod. Audrey, Alger, and the other members took the opportunity to learn the new Roselle text and tried hard to memorize the symbols and their meanings, except Derek. Klein didn't speak further as he leaned back into his chair. You may begin. Alger turned his head to look at the world. Your mystical item is ready. I'll give it to you this week. He was referring to the item made by the ocean songster's characteristic. The artisan had first rushed to finish Miss Justice's glove. As for the world's request, it had been delayed. With Mr. Azek not replying, and with me being unable to restore the seal on creeping hunger, this item's arrival is timely. Klein controlled the world and made him nod. That's still an acceptable speed. Acceptable speed? If I delayed it another week or two, would you be teleporting to me? He said he can kill a village for a chicken? Wait, what? Did he say this? Should I pull up the chicken scene from Game of Thrones again? As his original plan was to obtain the cataclysmic interrer potion from the church, and with him just beginning to digest the ocean songster potion, he wasn't looking to purchase any Beyonder ingredients. He fell silent again. To Alger, the most important thing now was to obtain one or two mystical items to match the whip of mind. After all, although mystical items were more about quality than quantity, with the need to avoid negative effects stacking with each other, to only have one mystical item for Sequence 5 Beyonder was embarrassing. Under normal circumstances, Sequence 5s would have 2 or 3 mystical items. Of course, Alger had already reserved one. Once the artisan finished the world's item, it would be his 6-winged gargoyled core crystal. For that, he needed to pay £1,000. Together with the fee he needed to pay for the world, he believed the little amount of money he had was reduced by £2,000, leaving him with £1,800. Out of that, £500 was a commission he had earned from Miss Justice's glove. With no one speaking, Emlyn looked at the sun and said, I need a Sequence 5's artificial vampires beyond our characteristic. What do you wish to get in exchange? In recent times, he had learned that the Sanguine had the means to eliminate the mental corruption of a Beyonder characteristic, but he needed to make sufficient contributions to make an application. Therefore, Emlyn wished to first obtain the main ingredient he needed for advancement before considering other problems. Oh, cool. Okay. So, Klein should... The world should ask Emlyn how to remove the mental corruption. Based on his observation, such a Sequence 5 characteristic would cost £8,000. Based on the world's pricing, he only had £5,400 and was still a little short. Based on Emlyn's original thoughts and habits, he needed to save up £8,000 before requesting a trade with the sun. He wasn't a sanguine who liked to buy things on credit, even for the newest and best doll. All he could do was be more frugal, work harder, and save up. However, he quickly realized something. The sun didn't accept cash. Therefore, Emlyn believed the sun would make a request for an item, so it was better to learn of it and prepare ahead of time. Derek thought and said, Sun Pathway Sequence 5 Potion. Formula. He originally wished to request him to pay his debt with the world, but he realized that the world hadn't raised any requests at all. Hence, he didn't find it appropriate to relegate it to someone else. In addition, having participated in many tarot gatherings, Derek was no longer the newcomer. With the City of Silver having exchange standard, he knew that the difference between a Sequence 5 Notary Potion formula and a Sequence 5 Beyonder characteristic very well. Using the former to cover the debt of the latter would be a terrible deal. Hence, he changed his request to a Sequence 5 Potion formula. So the sun is Sequence 6 now too, right? He's a notary? Sequence 5 Potion formula. That's difficult to purchase. It'll cost between £4,500 and £7,000. Emlyn was just about to say something when he heard the world say, I have it. Instantly, everyone fell silent. Is sequence 5 that common? How much will it cost? Emlyn asked. Considering Emlyn's financial situation, he made the world chortle. 5,000 pounds. Priest of Light's potion formula. 5,000 pounds? Emlyn was taken aback. Deal. Just as he was about to face a discount for a doll he had been longing for. All right, the world nodded, as though it wasn't a major transaction. Then he looked at the Miss Justice and said, I'd like to commission an investigation mission. Investigation mission? What is it? Forz asked. Oh, sorry. Then Miss Justice looked at Miss Magician and said, I'd like to commission an investigation mission. What is it? Forz asked. There's been 2 matters that happened in Backland recently. One is Baron Cindrus. He's suspected to have been framed. The other is Member of Parliament Macht being assaulted. Forz found Miss Justice's description especially familiar because she had been present for the 2 matters. Unknowingly, she straightened her back, and in these 2 matters there's a tycoon named Dwayne Dantas. He came to Backland 2 months ago and has donated more than £10,000 worth of shares to the church. I wish to hire someone to investigate the actual situation with that gentleman. I know. I know this too well. He's rather rich and looks pretty good. He handles matters with experience. He's someone with a kidney or bladder problem. If Miss Justice wasn't pleased with that, she had even more information, such as Dwayne Dantas was in a rather pitiful state. His butler studied black magic, his servant worshipped death, and one of his neighbors was a beyonder. In short, he perfectly fit the image of a foreigner who's being bullied. I nearly recommend him to a medicine that treats kidney and bladder problems. After all, the moon is skilled in such matters. I can still earn a commission through this, but there's no rush. Let's see what Miss Justice has to offer. Forz curbed her heart with excitement. However, her body language and emotional upheavals had betrayed her in front of a spectator. Audrey was surprised and puzzled. She never expected Forz to know Dwayne. This made her have a new guess as to why Dwayne was shocked when he saw her. He suspected if Forz had once mentioned or shown something to the man. Forz in her head canon, true. Meanwhile, Emlyn was a blank. He knew nothing about what Miss Justice mentioned. All he could do was confirm that these things happen in Backland. As for the fool, he was leaning back in his chair, looking at the members. Miss Justice's commission of others to investigate Dwayne exceeded his expectations. This was because they had only met once. They didn't have any deeper interaction, so why bother? Could it be that I exposed something about myself that garnered her attention? Or could it be that donating so much money shows how the importance Earl Hall places on this? Hence, Miss Justice decided to secretly carry out an investigation because she's worried for her father? Audrey deliberated and looked at the magician and said, an initial investigation of £500. If you encounter any danger, I'll pay more. No problem, Forz said. Just as she was about to say something, she saw the world raise his hand. Huh? Okay, we'll do 868, and then we'll leave it there, okay? I'm not reading anymore. I need to go to the gym. We'll leave it at like a half an hour later, and that's fine. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Fuck. They're really doing a Tokyo Ghoul? Maybe that's just say... Oh my god, yeah, Klein should have the world hired to investigate, and then he can just investigate himself. Forz was taken aback. Following that, she couldn't help but have thoughts surfaced in his mind. The world wished to take on this mission? Oh, I guess he is in Backland. But this is an investigation, not a murder. Dwayne Dantas is pitiful enough. Leave him alone. Forz is like, bro, he's gonna kill him. Eliminating the investigation target implies completing the investigation because there's no need to do another investigation. No, that doesn't count. What do I do? Do I still take the mission? It's a full 500 pounds. I just need to recount what I previously discovered to receive 200 pounds, but the competition is Mr. World. Perhaps we can cooperate? Why would Mr. World be interested in this mission? His focus is actually on the framing of Baron Cinders or the assault on the Member of Parliament. Forrest grasped the problem. As for Alder and Cattleya, they had already cast their gaze at the world. To them, be it the framing of the Baron, the assault of the Member of Parliament, or Dwayne Dantes' donation, they weren't something that needed special notice, but to have the Fools Blessed accept the investigation meant that the problem was bound to be complicated. Emlyn didn't think too much about it, but he also seemed to sense something. The seemingly ordinary investigation mission wasn't that simple. He plans on earning some pocket money to make up for the 5,000 pounds he had just lost. Dwayne is really something. There must be a big problem with him that makes the world choose to investigate him. Audrey's mind stirred as she turned her eyes. To them, Derek, to take in the reactions of all Tarot members. Among them, Derek was the only exception. To him, wasn't it normal for the Tarot Club to help each other? If someone gave a mission and one was capable of completing it, wasn't it normal to take it? Audrey moved her gaze to the world and asked with hidden anticipation, Mr. World, you wish to take this mission? After returning to Backland, don't forget to rank the ships. Oh, yes. After returning to Backland, she had gathered up the news at sea over the past few months, roughly confirming that the world was the lunatic Gehrman. While she was deeply impressed with this seemingly polite but dangerous gentleman, she felt that her feelings to adventure at sea had waned. Klein had already thought of a response. He turned his head to say, Dwayne Dantes is an identity. After a period of brief but repeated considerations, Klein decided to expose some information. He made Dwayne one of the public facades of a blessed. Clever boy. Oh, this way when Audrey does join... Oh, now Audrey's obviously going to join the charity. And then, and then they can help each other even more. Based. He believed that if he chose to conceal the matter, there was a high chance of it being exposed. This was because Dwayne was about to enter Backland's high society. He could find clues to the Great Smog of Backland or other cases. This way, he might need Miss Justice's assistance. When that happens, the spectator might sense something and discover that the world was previously hiding something. This would lower her sense of belonging and would make her suspect even more matters, causing her faith in the Fool to be borderline. If the two members, not knowing each other or knowing of each other's existence, were to tacitly work together to complete a specified mission that sounded perfect, but in reality its success was more difficult. Therefore, most of the time, honesty was more effective. As for why he didn't directly say Dantes was Gehrman, this was because Klein didn't wish to leave the Tarot members with the impression as to why it was the same persona again. He didn't want to leave them with the impression that he was the only blessed of the Fool. Dwayne Dantes is an identity? Audrey sharply read between the lines and had a theory. Then she heard the world say, a common identity that me and my companion share. I will occasionally disguise myself as him. Upon saying that, he emotionally swept his gaze at the magician. A common identity? Occasionally disguises him? The pitiful Dwayne is the world? The tycoon with bladder problems is Gehrman? Force felt as though she had been struck by lightning. Call her MatPat because she has a theory. This is a theory. A game theory. Her brain turned numb as though she was struck with fear. When a butler, valet, neighbor, and surroundings had problems, the only person that seemed ordinary would obviously not be ordinary. I'm sorry for talking about your prostrate. You know what? I apologize. It's not that, no. It's not the street where Dwayne Dantas stays, or that he happened to hire a butler in secret. It's because of or that he hired a butler with a secret. It's because of that secret that he was hired. The pitiful one isn't Dwayne, but the Beyonders and items around him. I was wrong. I shouldn't have gotten Geo to ask the goddess to bless him. This is more of a curse. Forrest trembled, thankful that she hadn't left a comment on her note regarding his bladder. Otherwise, she suspected that she wouldn't be able to participate in the gathering. Or perhaps she would appear in the form of a characteristic sold to the other members. Logically speaking, the world doesn't know that I'm the magician, but I was carrying Leimano's travel. He had used the spellbook before and had added demigod-level powers to it. He had definitely observed me in secret, remembering my appearance and evaluating my value. The fear in Forrest was surging like a tumultuous sea. At this moment, she saw the world sweep his cold gaze at her. Her feelings of regret instantly became that of extreme regret. Thankfully, I didn't rush to answer and mention any impressions of Dwayne. Forrest gradually calmed down. During the bodyguard mission, were we the ones protecting Dwayne, or was Dwayne the one protecting us? Should I refund Gehrman his money? I have one astrologer characteristic for sale. This, at times, Dwayne was equivalent to the world. Audrey was stunned before finding all her questions answered. Forrest does know Dwayne Dantas, but she didn't know that he was the world. It can be proven by her shocked reaction. The reason why Dwayne was shocked when he saw me was because he recognized Lai. Although this mystical item has changed, it comes from a Beyonder characteristic that he provided. Perhaps this lunatic can sense it. After all, Gehrman can transform into anyone with the powers of shape-shifting. Although I only asked Mr. Hanged Man what will happen when an animal consumes a potion, the potion ingredients I gathered later will always be in pairs. Mr. World might very well have guessed that I have a spectator beside me, based on that. Besides, he became wary against Susie, who was secretly observing. Others might not doubt an animal, but the world is experienced. He might have interacted with Beyonder creatures. Which is to say, Gehrman, knows that I am Justice, but he didn't choose to make any contact or communicate with me. There's nothing wrong with his choice of actions. Under those circumstances, unless he directly says it, it'll be difficult for me to guess or believe it. Furthermore, talking about the Tarot Club in the St. Samuel Cathedral is insane. Damn. So now Audrey knows that Gehrman knows who she is. Forrest suspects that Gehrman knows who she is. Alger knows that Gehrman knows who he is. Cattleya knows that Gehrman knows who she is. Gehrman knows basically everyone in the Tarot Club at this point. What's even the point? Bro, take down the disguises. Gehrman knows everyone. If I have a penny for every dog Beyonder, I have 2 pennies. 2? Who's 2? I think we'll call it donezo with this chapter, yeah. After a brief moment of surprise, Audrey's emotions calmed down, leaving only excitement. Apart from Forrest, who she had introduced, this was her first time meeting another member of the Tarot Club. Devil Dog. Oh, I see, okay. It feels like a historic moment. Yes, Mr. World, as well as Mr. Fool's other blessed. They should be considered the world. But why was the identity of Dwayne made up? What are they up to? The matter of Baron Sindris being formed, Member of Parliament mocked, being assaulted, and the donation. They're more complicated than I imagined. Why do I feel that the kingdom's upper echelon are beginning to stir with a state of unrest? I had this feeling when Prince Edisac died. Today it's even more intense. Now I know that the identity of Dwayne, I might be able to participate and cooperate indirectly, reducing the risk my parents might suffer, reducing the risk of the innocent. Amidst her thoughts, Audrey made up her mind she would accept her father's choice to join the Lone Charity Bursary Foundation. She then inwardly quipped, "Wouldn't it be very logical to have Miss Justice from the Tarot Club join the foundation established by the world?" Audrey and Cattleya weren't too surprised that Dwayne was the world, that he was an amalgamation of the blessed. In their minds, another thought flashed through their minds. Something major is about to happen in Backland. Well, now that you've jinxed us, you selfish assholes, I guess something big will happen. Fine. Alright, we'll react to the artwork. By the way, if you're new here, consider joining our Discord, link in the description. We get up to all sorts of shenaniganery, like, Jesus Christ, can you talk about not spoiler bullshit? Jesus. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Milosh. We get up to this sort of shenaniganery up here. I don't know. I'm not reading that fucking essay. Okay, let's react to the artwork first, then we'll do the rest, okay? Okay, bye Dr. Z. Okay, I'm back. Hazel's teacher. Who is this? What is this? Is this Audrey or Force? Audrey, I guess, the mirror, right? Time Traveler's Dr. Z? Yes. Audrey? Okay. She has all the accounts. Oh my god, Frank Lee, the GOAT. Look at him, he's so buff. Oh my god. Pulling up trees with his sheer fucking power. Oh my god, look at this buff overall wearing motherfucker. God, goated and woated, built different. the ship leaking milk, very good. Very good, very good. I don't know who that is. Nina, maybe? Gehrman? Frank, of course, he's so happy. This version of him doesn't look like him at all. He doesn't look insane enough, you know? But this is very well done, like all the mushrooms everywhere. I do appreciate how much Frank is trying, though, for his friend, because like his friend asked him a thing, and he's spending so much time on it. He's like, no, get the fuck away from me. It's like, you put the goddamn mushroom down. Put the mushroom down, or I put you down. Love this. I think you meant to put Rudius up here. You got that wrong, by the way, but close enough, I guess. Dwayne and Audrey. Very cute. Dwayne doesn't have enough wrinkles, though. He's 50. Give him more wrinkles. The scariest insanity is the one that can mimic rationality. Why so much Forzart? Why does she look like a baby? Who drew this? I mean, it's very nice. Is it this official art? Why does she look like a baby? It looks very nice, but she looks like a baby. But it is very nice. Look at this. Hold up. This is very cute. This is very cute. Because it's Milosh? Fair. Can I add this as an... Can I remove... I don't know, one of the emojis and add this as an emoji? Because I'm so tired. Whenever you guys call me Unk, I can just put this one and be like... Isn't it crazy how young Forrest is despite the backstory? This one, she has the crazy eyes in this one. Do you see this? See? Fellas, if a lady looks at you with these eyes, you run, okay? I don't care how pretty she is, you run. Those are crazy eyes. Beautiful. Look at this. Baekland? Is that how you spell? There's so many spellings. But looks beautiful. My god. Damn, I thought those were mushrooms. I actually have some mushroom trauma at this point. Xiao? Well, Chinese artists don't know English. This is very nice. This is beautiful. Who does she remind me of? Fuck, there's like a character she reminds me of. She's the character she reminds me of. I don't know who. Here it is. Sword Art Online, Asuna. Kind of. Shorten the hair. Kind of. Someone. Maybe. A little bit. Facial structure, exactly the same. 1-to-1. What? No. Oh, okay, you guys are... That counts, bro. That counts. That counts. Nope, I'm counting that one. Fuck you guys. She's closer to Asuna? How? This is an interesting one. The nose... Maybe because of the light, the nose looks massive. She looks like she has a Minecraft villager nose. Fuck you, Bug, you son of a bitch. Somehow looks even scarier now. What the fuck? Mr. A artwork. My god. Yeah, you died as a mushroom, you bitch. Audrey art. Milos, are you putting more stuff in? Please stop. I'm gonna be fucking reacting to art forever. Exactly. Audrey looks like, this is very cute, but she looks like a child. Come on. Happy birthday, Audrey. Like, this is adorable. This is great. This also is Susie with the black eyes. What? This looks great too. Even the flowers, so much detail. This is amazing. Like her hair, so fluffy. Bro, actually so fluffy. This looks amazing. My god, the food looks so good. I'm so hungry. Oh, I need to go eat. I'm starving. This looks amazing. The flowers, the food. The people look fine too, but the food looks amazing. Wait, the Fours emoji or this one? No, I feel like the Fours one is better. Unless we can get a Audrey emoji as with her like passed out or whatever, or tired. Ideally, if we could get a Sharon one for that, that would be best. Hong Kong edition? Whoa. Audrey and I assume her mother? Lady Catelyn? Or would this be the Queen? A Lord of the Mysteries. Look up Ryuj... What? Look up Ryu. That looks like a guy's name. Yeah. Samo thinks this is better for Gio. You know what? I apologize, Samo. I apologize. That is Gio. You guys are so mean. This is great too. Love this. Grand Blue Dreaming is a great drinking anime. I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's no diving in there. It's just about drinking, baby. Let's go. When did Gio get so ripped? I know. You guys are so mean. Wow, this is amazing. This is beautiful. Lady Bernadette. This looks amazing too. This is way bigger than I would have imagined. This is some actual crazy shit. She's on some Jack and the Beanstalk bullshit. Is this Danitz? Okay. Need sleep? No, I need to go to the gym, bro. 8 pentacles. 8 of pentacles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many tarot club members do we have right now? Audrey Alder, the Sun, Fours, the Moon, Cat Leia, the World. Is that it? Did I miss anyone? Damn. Put these in different corners of the room and then chant. This is amazing. Dude, I don't know who makes these, man, but these people are some goated shit. This is amazing. She got that dagger, bro. Look at that fucking thing. That is sharp as fuck. That's beautiful. This is really nice too. It's also depressing as shit. Damn. Official tarot card sick art. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, let's rank order the ships. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Did I miss some art? Amnesiac? What did I miss? Oh, I did. You're right. Yeah. Oh. This one I have seen, but very nice all the same. Wow, that is beautiful. The Justice needs her long arm of justice. Susie, of course. That's amazing. Dude, if Susie loses control and we have to put her down, I swear to God, I'm fucking quitting this fucking book. I'm not reading it anymore. If that happens, we're done. I'm not reading it. I will leave it. I don't care if I'm at chapter 1300. If that happens, I fucking leave it immediately, okay? You understand me? Okay. So, first, done and daily. If you disagree with this, leave. Second, Klein and Amon, surprisingly popular. No, thank you. Trissy and Edisac. Klein and Leonard. Klein and Eridus. That's crazy. Klein and Force. I put this here because of Dr. Z. Edwina and Anderson. I would put that up there. Anderson x Edwina. And then I would also put Danitz x Edwina. Klein and Sharon isn't even on here. You know what? That's an honorary number 3 or number 4 or number 4. The fact that it's not on here is a fucking crime, but whatever. Five. 4 Zexgeo. 6. Klein X Audrey. 7. Klein X Amon. 8. Klein X Leonard. I think Amon is better fit than Leonard. I don't know anything about Amon, but that makes him better than what I do know about Leonard. Klein X Money, that's sequence 0 bug. Yeah, that's sequence 0. We didn't even talk about that, you know what I mean? So that's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. Actually, you know what? Let's move all these down one. Sorry, I missed this one. Let's move all these down one. I apologize. Let's Tricia and Edisac, I think is up there. But Tricia was pretty vocal that she hated the situation in reverse. Yes, but now she loves him so much, she's like, damn, like I gotta get revenge from my boy, you know, he dead. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. That's done. All right, that's my ranking. What if it's just the quill? What do you mean? What if it's like? What do you mean? Oh, you mean what if it's the quill making Trissy fight for Prince Edisac? Well then, the quill can write them that they have a happy marriage until they die of old age. Okay. What's up? Call me crazy. Trissy X Talum Dumas, yes. Okay. Alright, guys. We're gonna end the stream there. Thank y'all for another fantastic stream. It was a little bit longer than it was intended to be, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I'm gonna go to the gym, rest for a bit, and then start working on some videos. That's it. Thank y'all so much for joining. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day or nights, and I'll catch y'all at night. Bye, guys. It's gonna take me a second to turn it off because I'm not on the right screen. Haha. Bye.